love that. Brittany I said something to her. She said, I can't hear you. So I gave her the finger. She said, oh, I hear that.
Oh, I hear that one. That one loud and clear.
She actually heard the finger, which is pretty good, actually.
It's pretty impressive.
Indeed it is. We got to get to this right away because it's going to be one hell of a hot end of the week. It says, please note the record high temperatures have been corrected for this weekend and early next week. They've gotten even higher, as a matter of fact.
Oh, dang.
Mostly sunny and warm today with a high of 80. So a very nice day today. Then you got breezy and warmer tomorrow, the high of 85. Also very pleasant. Then it hits Friday, mostly sunny and hot, the high of 90. The record's 97, so that's, that's good. Then it hits, though. Saturday, 97. Sunday, 97. Labor Day, 98. Tuesday, mostly sunny and just a bit cooler. A bit cooler. The high's only going to be 91.
Oh, my God.
Would you call that cooler or less hot?
I don't know. I call it hot. I don't know. Cooler is not a word I would use in the 90s.
You don't use cooler? Even for the temperature?
Like, I would not walk outside and it's kind of cooler out today.
I had a friend when I went to 6th grade, I think it was,
at
St. Joseph's. He insisted people call him Cool Cat.
Okay, I love that.
Just from now on, call me Cool Cat.
I mean, he's trying to make a nickname work.
Yeah. Wasn't there a cartoon character named Cool? Something like Cool Cat?
There was a few. There was Scat Cat.
Scat Cat.
Who used to roll with, what's her name, the dancer, the gal from American Idol. I can't, Paula Abdul.
Oh,
that?
yeah, that music video.
Yeah.
Two step forward, one step back. Yeah, there was.
Chester Cheetah.
I feel like Cool Cigarettes probably has a Cool Cat.
Cool. Every time you mention Cool Cigarettes, I just think of our buddy got the reparations check and bought an entire semi full of Cool Cigarettes.
Oh my God, Dave Chappelle.
That is so funny, man.
That was a Chappelle show.
Wasn't that Richard Pryor?
No.
Oh, no, it was Chappelle during the Chappelle show. Yeah, that's right. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, for some reason, Richard Pryor did do a bit about Cool Cigarettes. I can't remember exactly. I don't know if that was true or not, but I think it was. Cool Cigarettes were a very, very big deal in the inner city. There's no doubt about that.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the menthol ones, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Newports. What?
I used to smoke forever
Don't do the
ago.
vomit noise while I'm talking. It makes me think that you just don't like the sound of my voice at all.
I would be pretty hard up to smoke a menthol cigarette.
What did you smoke when you smoked?
Whatever was cheapest.
So, unless it was menthol.
Unless it was menthol, no.
So, what did you go out to the...
It'd be Camel or Marlboro or...
Weren't they all the same price?
Parliament. No, they would be on sale. One would be like... And at that time, because I was in college, it would be... If you could get it for $4 instead of $5, that was the big thing.
And what are they now? Like, somebody told me that a pack of cigarettes is like $14 now.
It can be anywhere between
Honest to
like
God.
$9 and $14. Yeah. And people still smoke them. That's the crazy part.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Minnesota is the 7th state with the most expensive cigarettes.
Or anything else, by the way. Let's mention that
$9.13 per pack.
Yeah.
$9.13.
No, thank you.
When I quit smoking and when I was 21 years old, I smoked Lark cigarettes, and they cost 31 cents a pack.
Lark?
Yeah.
Lark cigarettes.
They still exist?
It was kind of like a charcoal thing in the filter or something. It was a charcoal filter or something. It was good. They were good, actually. The Laurent brothers, God bless you guys, no longer with us, unfortunately. But, yeah, the Laurent brothers, I was in a band with them back then, so I think we all smoked Lark cigarettes back then. But I haven't had a cigarette now in many, many years.
I randomly will smell it and go love, and I'll randomly smell it and go hate.
Yeah.
You know when you're going to hate it? Work at a VFW, call them bingo.
Oh,
that's the worst. Because it gets into your hair, it gets into your skin. You cannot get it out of you.
Yeah, I don't want that.
I have to ask you, because I've never done a VFW deal, but Ascension School in North Minneapolis used to have bingo night.
Mm-hmm.
This is at a Catholic church in North Minneapolis. Call the wrong bingo. You effer.
Oh.
What?
For 3 years, from 10th grade to when I graduated, I called bingo at the VFW with my grandmother.
There you go.
And I'm telling you, it was Wednesday, Thursday, Fridays, and boy, them old biddies would get pissed.
Oh, I bet.
If you would say, like, if you're in the middle of something and you got three things, you're calling the game and you got six things going on, and and it's a multiple different style bingo. Like, hey, you can have corners, you can have postage stamp, you can have a regular bingo, whatever it is, and you're checking the board and you're doing the thing, and you're like, N N60, not N61, I'm sorry, 06. They're like, God damn it!
Oh, I know.
God damn it! And you're like, okay, relax. It's 061. I'm sorry, I misspoke. You get a dauber thrown at you. Oh, yeah, them old bastards are
Well,
sons
and
of
there's
bitches.
all these, like, cute traditions that they do automatically. Like, if you're like before, everyone will say, and after.
Yeah.
Like, all these weird things that happen there. And if you mess any of that up.
Oh, yeah, no, when you called, I didn't know it until I got down to Minneapolis and called a game once, but if you say N45, the crowd goes, 45.
45.
Yep.
That's
so
a Hubbard thing.
Yeah.
It's their fault.
That's cute.
And this table we're sitting at, that Brittany and I are sitting at right now, there were women at Ascension. This is my table. You can't sit here. They had cards literally. How many?
Oh,
20?
Yeah, you could have up to 15 cards at the VFW.
Wow.
And here's the thing. It didn't matter because Friday nights always like the new people would show up. Wednesday,
Sure.
Thursday, Friday, you always had the same. But
Yeah.
Friday nights, people who just like were casual bingo players would show up. And they would think, oh, you can just sit wherever you want.
Yeah.
Oh, if you took Gladys's seat and Gladys
Oh.
wasn't there yet, and then Gladys showed up and saw a new person sitting in her seat, she'd raise holy hell.
Oh, yeah.
You need to tell that person to move. It's like, well, they got here before you. There's no assigned seating.
Dang.
Oh, yeah, no, they used to get mad about it. Yeah.
How the hell do you do 15 cards at once?
Oh, and it was about as big as this table. I'm not
Yeah.
kidding.
Like doppers?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And you would have 5 across, and you'd have 3 rows of them. And they go through all of them. Yeah.
That's terrible.
They did. It's true.
Oh, man.
And also, we should mention they might have had a drink or two.
Oh, yeah, well,
Yeah.
honestly, they could barely drink. If you were doing 15,
Yeah, how could you drink? That's a lot of cards.
I mean, you could barely do anything.
Yeah. You haven't really lived until you've been concussed by a troll doll. That's really.
Yeah, I suppose.
Their lucky troll doll that they touch their belly every time.
Oh, yeah. Rub the hair. Yeah.
You're kidding.
Oh no, they would take the troll doll and
God.
they would tap it. They would hold it up and they would tap it. If they were one number away, they would tap it on the table until they called their number. And if they didn't call the number, oh, dude.
There's no such thing as non-created luck. Oh. You can tap it all you want. It ain't going to help.
Ain't gonna help. Yeah.
Well, I don't know about that, Tom.
Oh, yes. I forget. Oh, they're trying to make it a better show.
Before
I
you
want
get-
a, I want a zinger.
Before you get here, Tom, every morning she's patting her head and rubbing her belly at the same time.
There's a shock.
Yeah.
Oh, you can do it.
Wait,
Well,
no.
you were patting both.
Yeah, I was patting
Yeah,
both.
so
I
you
can do
can't
both.
do it.
I can do it.
No, you did this first.
At first I did because I can do it. Can you do it?
Of course.
Let me see.
There's got to be some money coming my way.
I won't dance.
Oh, by
for
the way, I
free.
did like the post. A lot of people sent me the post on YouTube. Let's tell you about dildo.
I
Oh, yeah. That was a
know.
good one.
Oh, Jesus, pal. I still can't believe I did that. Because I
so
wasn't even thinking.
Funny. Oh, it was so funny. Just like such a funny, innocent play on word. It couldn't have been more innocent and it couldn't have been more disgusting.
Well, there is. Oh, what do you mean dildos are disgusting? Is that what you're
To
saying?
casually ask a woman if she's going to bring her dildo.
Yeah, in case you missed it.
That's true. Bring your dildo or whatever it is. Money. I meant money.
Yep.
I did mean money, but I said
It's
dough.
so funny.
So don't put the dill and the dough together.
I think those would be hot Minnesota State Fair shirts next year.
Oh, my God.
I bet you're right.
Could you imagine just like, don't forget to bring your dill, big words, and then hyphen dough underneath. I think
See?
that would be massive.
Yeah, if you even had like somebody wrote in about this, but like a empty jar of pickles with money in it, and then writing on there like dill dough.
Dill dough.
See? There you go.
Yeah.
You can make some money off of this deal.
Yep.
Marketing dildo jars.
See,
Be perfect. There's
Yeah.
no question about it.
it's bad. It's so good.
What kind of day did you have yesterday, you guys? You have a good day yesterday?
I'm trying to think. Yesterday, yeah, I ran with Go-Go. So I got to do my running path twice because I ran with Go-Go. We got home. She has one shoe on.
Oh, yeah.
And so I said, ugh. So she took a nap, and then
Gotta
she got
double
up,
back.
and I was like, get back in the stroller, and we went and found the shoe.
Oh, you did find it.
Yeah, we found
That's
it. It was right on Dell. But that was one of those weird moments where you go, oh, God, I know it's out there in the world.
Yeah.
But then when you find it, you're like, wow, am I the luckiest person in the world? Like, you would have thought I found $1 million finding her little croc.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's a croc, really?
It's like an off-brand croc,
Oh,
but
it's
it's that same
off-brand, okay.
material. It's like a stride right, so they're like super comfy,
Oh,
but
okay.
they're like floaty and soft.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was
I'm
pretty
glad
much,
to hear it.
it's pretty much my day, the extent of it.
So last night, Josh Arnold invited me to, he's one of our big advertisers here on the show, I should point out. People may not know the name. He also does Fridays with the Family Podcast. So in any case, he had a suite at the Twins game last night. I've been in the Twins suite that the Twins own, the Minnesota Twins, but I've never been in one of the private suites.
Oh.
Those things are huge.
They're really nice.
God, they're gigantic, very comfortable. The food was great. There were a lot of people there, I told you. The
Yeah.
manager of Cove was there, great guy, huge listener.
Yeah, and
Couple
Cove
of
is
guys.
so good.
It is. Cove is really, really good. The one in Edina is where he is.
And did the Twins win?
Let's move on to another subject. And
My biggest gripe with the Twins boxes is that if you buy a box for a concert, say when Pink and Pat Benatar were there a couple of weeks ago,
Yeah.
if you buy a box, you have to pay whatever it is, $2,000. That brings in 10 people. That's $200 each to be able to sit in the box. But then you also have to pay a ticket to get into the venue itself.
What?
well,
Yeah.
of course, you're not getting in for free.
How insane is that? Yeah, so you pay $200 a person for the box, and then you also have to buy like another $100 ticket, a nosebleed ticket, just to get you into the venue.
No way.
That's yeah.
By the way, buying the suite, you are buying the seats.
That's what I would say. That I would think
Makes
that
no
that's your
sense.
seat. But yeah, but no, that they make you buy it, which you would think as the promoter, you would say, all right, if I already have you on the hook for buying a ticket into the box, that would free up the seat in the nosebleed that I could also sell for $100. But no, they make you pay both the $100 to be able to get in, and then also $200 to be able to sit in the suite.
That is insane.
Yeah, I don't get it. So dumb.
It was Carl's fault. He came up with it.
Get him on the blower.
Did they have
It's gonna
food
be
at
hard.
They have food at
Yeah.
the Oh.
That's why I said the food was really good.
Oh,
A
I
lot of
thought-
people pay attention when they're
I'm
on
sorry, I
radio
thought you
shows,
said
know.
Cove's food was really good.
I said that too. We said both.
What did they have food wise there?
I don't know.
It was really good though.
You need to pay attention to your life.
Actually, I didn't eat. Well, we didn't get there till
So how was it really good?
I am not, because everybody told me it was really good. I believe other people, unlike you, who never say nice things about anyone or anything.
You're so dramatic.
You see what I'm saying? But where the hell was I now? Oh, so Catherine and I, you would not have believed the traffic on what is it, 394, the one in the middle?
Yeah.
Yes.
It was backed up to Highway 100, from the stadium all the way back to Highway 100.
It's insane.
Jesus. I mean, the traffic, we literally left the house at about 5 minutes to 6, and we were late for the game at 6:50. It took us almost an hour to get there.
Even Diamond Lane, even the Express
Yeah, all of
Lane?
it.
What?
It was just, well, the express lane was going the other way, though. Express lane was coming out.
Oh, I suppose 394 has that middle lane. They don't have. Oh, yeah.
That's rough.
And there, by the way, there was no traffic on that.
No,
You're
of course
right.
not.
It
Yeah.
would have been better if you guys would have just taken an Uber at that point.
I think we probably would from now on. Probably do an Uber, drop you off right at the door.
Yeah.
That stadium. Now, I saw parts of the stadium I've never seen before because I've never come in the back side of it. I've always come in the front.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You know, where the parking is right there and all that. That stadium is spectacularly beautiful.
Yeah.
And I'm not just saying that because it's the Twins in Minnesota. It might be the most beautiful baseball stadium I've ever been in.
It's so beautiful.
It's gorgeous. They got kids playing beanbag. And all that.
I know.
Phenomenal.
It's so dang fun.
So what what's great about that? So I'm there and I'm not enjoying the game because the Twins getting their ass kicked from moment one, and I knew they weren't going to win, but whatever. It was still great to be at that stadium. It was amazing to be there.
Yeah.
And so while I'm there, and Doc, thanks for sending that over, by the way. Some guy went after me huge yesterday on social media.
Oh, really?
And you know why he went after me? Because I make an attempt to try to bring people together.
Oh, good point.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
Where on social media?
I don't even. He just sent me the frame. I suppose if I had tapped on it, it would have said where it was from.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But I didn't. I was just reading this guy was railing on me. Go, oh, he's a middling kind of guy. He's not left. He's not right. And he always says that. I'm trying to help to see what I can do to bring people together, and I'm the devil for doing that.
Yeah, I think that you just accept that this person's gonna think you're the devil no matter what.
I only bring that up for one reason. Because somebody, and it's probably both parties, are telling them that's the worst thing we could ever do.
Yeah, because you got to commit to one side because they want you to pay money for their cause. So it's like they're not going to feel comfortable if you're in the middle at all.
We need to move to the middle as a people and tell these political parties to blow it out their ass. They're getting worse by the day.
Yeah.
But this guy was, I'll never listen to him again as long as I live. Oh, really? Their Bill or whatever the hell your name was?
Say, okay.
Boy, it's so painful not having Bill around
anymore. Come back. No.
But I never suspected that I would look at a document and realize people don't want to get along. They really don't.
Yeah.
And it's really sad to me. Wouldn't it be nice to get along with everybody?
It would be nice.
You could.
You had a great experience. You went and...
Oh, it was wonderful.
I love going to Twins games. I didn't go out all this year, but one time I went with a bunch of friends. We had just way up.
So it was just you and Bilski?
It was just me and Bilski.
All your friends?
We were sitting in like nosebleed sections. It was for somebody's birthday, and our friend from Saver Heating reached out to me. It was Tatiana saying, "Hey, it's Michael's birthday, and we're in one of the suites. Do you want to come visit?" So I go to my friends. I go, "Me and Justin are going to run to the bathroom, right? We'll be right back."
We
go spent like an hour in that suite, and it was so hard to leave. I was like, "Steve, Tatiana, we got to go back to our normal lives."
The poor people seats.
Yeah, I was like, "We're
gorgeous.
mere serfs." And then my friends were like, "You were gone for a while." And they're like, "Do you want to buy some food?" I was like, "I'm actually full."
I'm not hungry right now.
I'm not hungry right now. I'm like wiping the food off my face.
Steve and Tatiana are two of the nicest people I'd ever want to. Going on the trips to like Key West with them was so much fun.
So much fun.
It was great.
I loved vacationing with them.
We should probably set one of those up for next year on this show.
Wow, let's just do something local.
No, let's go to Key West, you lazy ass.
Here's the thing. I love our listeners, and I feel like there's a better chance we'll get more if we just go do something quick and local.
That's not the point.
I know. Find both.
Do both?
Yeah.
Works for me.
Look at that.
No, see, that's a meeting you in the middle.
That's what I was just going to say.
Right I know a lovely place. It's called Margaritaville. It's got everything you could both want.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where's it, Don Hennepin?
It's Mall of America.
Oh, it's a Mall of America. That's right. It's out there. Who was the one that was telling me yesterday? Do you know that he is now a billionaire?
Oh, many. In fact, he might even be a couple of times over a billionaire.
Jesus.
It is. My girlfriend's a huge parrot head.
Oh,
Loves
yeah.
Jimmy Buffett.
What?
Yeah. Margaritaville is one of the
She's
worst.
a huge parrot head?
Loves him. Travels, sees him everywhere. Her and the family, they travel everywhere. They love him. They think the restaurant is a sham, which it is. Because, well, first off, you can't name a restaurant after a song and then franchise it. It's like, well, it just feels so like ingenuine. You know what I mean? Ingenuous. It's not, I don't know. But anyway, he's got one song that I really like called West Nashville Grand Ballroom Gown, which is a great Jimmy Buffett song. But other than that, the guy is just out to make a few bucks.
Yeah.
And
the whole, I got my toes in the sand and I'm drinking a Corona but it's like, come on, man, you're just pandering.
Well, I'd have to agree with you on that one, but yeah, I don't know. Well, you know who's a huge parrot head? And I mean huge. Former Gopher coach Glenn Mason. He just loves Margaritaville, man.
It is weird when super serious guys let loose and stuff like that because they show up in their cargo shorts with the floral shirt and then they got the parrot head and, they have a half a margarita and they got their arm around the guy next to him being like, "I love you, man." You're like, this is not your vibe.
Well, they're drunk, so, you got to cut them some slack, I guess. I don't know what the hell the deal is, but... Yeah, so, we could go. Where would you want to go? So where would you want to go locally to do it, and where would you want to go nationally to do it?
Okay, locally, there's a bunch of little fun stages around here. We could do something there. Just some, little setup. Even, what's that one that is just north of Bryn Mawr, that comedy place? You did a podcast there with the family.
Just north in Bryn Mawr?
Just
really?
north of Bryn Mawr?
God, I don't know where the hell that was.
It's a stand-up place, but they also do movies there, and you can eat there.
Not north of Bryn Mawr.
Not north of Bryn Mawr. I don't know.
Penn Avenue?
I don't know. Any place.
Robert, I'll look it up.
Glug, glug, glug is what I'm thinking. Booze Hound.
I also counted. There's like 40 Margaritavilles.
It's not Parkway Theater, is it? 'Cause they do
It's in
both stand-up.
Robbinsdale. What's the one place? What's the
Oh,
comedy
that's a
place?
little north of Bryn Mawr. I didn't know.
It
Yeah, you're
is.
talking about, there is one in Robbinsdale, but that's way the hell north.
Yeah.
of
Yeah,
Bryn
it is
Mawr.
north. But in my mind, I've biked there before from Bryn Mawr.
You
It's
might as
just
well
north.
have just said north of Louisiana.
Screw that. What is
Right.
the name?
north
It's the
of
comedy
Louisiana.
place.
You know, I go to the stadium downtown Minneapolis, which is way north of Iowa.
One
Yeah.
second. I wish I was in Margaritaville.
It's north of Bryn Mawr by about 10 miles.
Okay, first off, I've biked there from Bryn Mawr, so no, it's not.
It is too.
Robbinsdale is not that far from Bryn Mawr.
What was the place?
I'm still trying to look it up. What's that Robbinsdale?
Yeah, I
comedy
know who
place?
you're talking about.
Thank you.
I know
And it's
what
driving me
you're
nuts
talking
because you
about
did a podcast there. I biked
did,
there
yeah.
from my house to watch you guys, and it was super fun.
There used to be those restaurants along the main street there in Robbinsdale used to be so great. Maybe they still are. I haven't been there in a while. There's a great gun store there, so you can eat dinner and shoot somebody. Works for me.
Perfect.
What do you think?
I'm in.
I cannot remember the name of that damn
It's
place.
killing me. It's actually killing me inside.
Let's see. There's Big Laughs Comedy Club.
Rick Bronson's House of Comedy.
That's
isn't it?
Mall of America.
Oh, yeah.
All of America, yeah.
The Comedy Corner? Nope, that's
no,
not
that's,
it.
That's Seven
The
Corners.
Chuckle Hut.
The Chuckle
Is
Hut?
that what it is?
Nope, not Laugh Camp.
Not
What
Laugh
is the
Camp.
name of it?
I don't know, but we should probably go to break so you can work on that.
Thank you, sir.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, mostly sunny and 60 today, a high of 80 later on today, though. Sunny and 60 right now, 80 later on. Mostly sunny and 80, as a matter of fact. We'll be right back in just a couple seconds, ladies and gentlemen. You all have helped support MyPillow and their employees in these tough economic times. Mike Lindell knows this and continues to give back to listeners with deals on his most popular products. You've heard me recently speak about my slippers, the Giza Dream Sheets. The Giza sheets are wonderful, by the way. I've got them. MyPillow 2.0 and more. Great news. The MyPillow 6-pack bath towel sets are back in stock. Their proprietary technology makes them extremely absorbent, yet still provides that soft feel you look for in a towel. The set comes with 2 bath towels, 2 hand towels, 2 washcloths. Regular price is $79.98, and for a limited time, you can get this 6-pack towel set only $39.99 with promo code TOM. That's a 50% savings. You got to use the promo code, by the way. And I know our listeners tend to have dough,
Yeah,
so they don't give promo codes.
that's insane. You
So-
should always use promo codes.
Yeah, you should use the promo code because you're going to save 50%. Just say, even if you want to claim that it was like Tom Brokaw you were talking about and not me.
Absolutely.
Tom, like Tommy B, Tommy Brokaw. What do you think?
They're interchangeable.
That would be a 50% savings if you use the promo code TOM. Go to MyPillow.com and use promo code TOM to save 50% all MyPillow 6-pack towel sets. That is just $39.99 for a set. This deal will not last long. Enter promo code TOM for this special and many more.
When you need someone to listen, a lawyer you know and trust.
The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says riding a bus to school is 13 times safer than riding in a passenger vehicle and 10 times safer than walking to school. The reality of school bus safety is that more children are hurt outside the bus than inside as passengers. Most of the children who lose their lives in bus-related crashes are pedestrians, 4 to 7 years old, who are hit by the bus or by motorists illegally passing a stopped school bus. Please be patient and use extra caution when driving near children and school buses. And never pass a bus when the arm is down and red lights are flashing. The children inside and their parents are counting on us. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. I hope you're never injured in an accident, but if you are, don't sign anything until you've talked to a lawyer.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
I'm here with Ben Williams, former defensive end for the Minnesota Vikings. Ben, you were in peak health playing football when you went into kidney failure and needed a transplant. An organ donor saved your life. What do you want people to know?
That's right, Tom. I found out my life was going to have 2 paths. Either hooked up to a dialysis machine 5 days a week, 4 hours a day for the rest of my life, or receive a kidney transplant. I actually started to lose hope. When I was about to start dialysis, I received a call. My perfect match for a kidney was available. A stranger checked the donor box on their driver's license and saved my life. I actually felt 18 again. Now I want to pay it forward by encouraging others to register. I learned from LifeSource that men register at rates much lower than women. We need more men to check the box at the DMV. When you pass away, that small decision and act can help someone like me.
There are 2,300 people in Minnesota like Ben right now waiting for a life-saving transplant. Make your game plan to be a hero. To learn more, visit life-source.org. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. I need every person listening. If you happen to run into Brittany the rest of this week or this weekend or whatever,
you can shame
I want
me.
you to ask her a question, okay?
Yeah.
And that question is, so Brittany, is North Dakota north or south of South Dakota?
Yeah, you know what? I'm not wrong.
You are flat out right. You had the wrong city.
I had the wrong city. I meant New Hope.
New Hope.
Okay, first off, it's not that ridiculous. They are right next to each other.
It's ridiculous. It's called the New Hope Cinema Grill.
Secondly, it's New Hope Cinema Grill. Okay, secondly, I asked where you guys did your live broadcast.
In Robbinsdale, you said.
Yeah, I did say in Robbinsdale.
Okay,
I led the dog in the wrong direction. But if you had a good nose, you should have sniffed it out.
Oh yes. After knowing you for all these years, I should have figured out how far. I'm surprised it didn't end up in like Seattle.
I would like to ask the judge: is Robbinsdale
the judge
north of Bryn Mawr? I will be checking my email and I will get back to you guys on that.
Yeah. Well, so is St. Cloud.
Yeah. So.
Oh God.
It's not north. It's only 4 miles north.
So it was the wrong place.
We're arguing two different things. Was I in the wrong
you're trying
city?
to change the subject.
No, you're pivoting. You're pivoting.
How am I pivoting? You
because
had it wrong.
I had you nailed down on the 4 mile thing. Is it not 4 miles north of Bryn Mawr?
That's the Robbinsdale with 2 B's.
Get out of here. Quack,
What?
quack.
Quack, quack. I like the quack, quack. That works for me. So anyway, if you're done attacking me, we can just move on with the show.
Yeah, I think I'm done attacking you
Vicious
viciously.
attack. Yeah, it's true.
You're going to say that.
But yeah, New Hope Cinema Grill is a nice place. I was just telling you, last time I was there, I saw Bobby Slayton. That was before the pandemic, I remember.
Jeez, really?
Is New Hope Cinema still open?
Yeah, it's still open.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. I like that place. It's a good spot. Reminds me of my youth in some ways.
I love it there. I feel like the tables are big and nice. And
It's true.
Yeah.
Bobby Slayton. Does he do stand up anymore?
A little bit, I think. I haven't seen him.
I know that when his wife died, he took that really hard. Does the wife get hit by a car or some shit?
That's a good question. I don't know.
I know Bobby Slayton's wife died, but I think she might have gotten hit by a car or something like that. But that was a long time. Well, not a long time, but several years ago. But Bobby and I, God, we had so much fun together. You know, spending an entire day talking to somebody goes, so Brittany, let me ask you a question. What do you think? I mean, to talk to somebody all day that has that voice wears you out.
It's exhausting.
It is. It's exhausting.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Bobby's always been a great guy, though. Really good guy. Yeah, I think they were like for some reason, this was many years ago, but for some reason, I think they were on vacation in Mexico or something, and she got hit by a car.
Oh.
That may have happened. It looks like here he was talking about Sherman Oaks Hospital. He was suing them in March of 2016 because she had pneumonia for 5 days after being discharged to a nursing facility. Is that the same one? She died March 23rd, 2016.
God, that long ago already?
He blames the doc's lack of skill in treating her for her death.
Well, so maybe that was a different situation.
So maybe she did get hit, but then survived. But then, what a way to go to! I always hate
pneumonia.
that. Yeah, when you hear about guys doing like 3 tours in Vietnam, but then they come home and they have an infected toenail and they die.
Yeah,
It's
I
like
know.
how and why? What just God allowed you to die with an infected toenail?
That is true. But Bobby took that really hard. I cannot believe that was 7 years ago already.
Yeah.
God, I literally thought that would have been just before the pandemic, which is, 4 years ago now?
Yeah.
Something like that. So, Bobby, we miss you. I just, having people call in and go, Barnard, what are you up to? What are you doing? What are you talking about?
Yeah. And that kind of energy, just the chaotic, so much energy coming at you. I love it.
Sounds like he's growling at you.
I know, right? Just
He's doing sketches now. You hear him on the sketches commercial.
I do want to say we did get 3 emails that said New Hope Cinema. I just didn't have my email open either, so people knew what I was saying, even though I was saying Robbinsdale, which our
typical.
listeners are amazing.
No. They know you're nuts.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
That's not amazing. It's very evident you're crazy.
They speak crazy.
They speak
fluently.
Crazy. They speak crazy with Brittany. That's exactly right. But In any case, I have to ask you a question here.
Ask away, sir.
A European airline is launching an adults-only section on planes. Now, the reason I bring up that headline is it's always the adults that are causing the problem.
Right?
So why are you trying to blame this on the kids?
I have no idea. And also, if it's the kids being the problem, it's also still just the adults being the problem.
Yeah,
That's true.
I imagine this is a way for them to charge a few extra bucks.
Oh, you think? Well, maybe I'll click on the story.
Also, my baby's lungs will reach you in your adults only section. She is loud.
Oh, yeah.
And if she's
Oh, yeah.
freaking out, I'm sorry, but she will penetrate your little cloth divider.
I was on a plane once, coming back from Chicago, which is all of about, an hour and 10-minute flight.
Yeah, it's a quick one.
Not like you're on the plane forever. And all of a sudden I hear this guy yelling from the back of the plane, "No, you back up!" It's like,
Oh my God.
apparently he tried to take a woman into the bathroom, and they were having none of it.
Yeah.
So he got in a big argument with him. He started screaming, "No, you back up!"
Oh no.
Okay,
Oh no.
settle down,
Last
relax.
flight I was on, Gogo lost her shit, and everyone was so nice.
Yeah, isn't that great?
Like they were so. Every time I'd walk, everyone was like, "You got this, mama," and I was like, "Why is everyone being so nice to me? My baby's being so
Aw.
loud." They were so nice.
I have a question for you. What is this big deal with the reclining your seat?
Oh, the debate if
Why
you should.
is it such a big deal? I don't understand. Does it really get it? I don't put my seat back. I don't like that laying back kind of stuff.
Well, it's about 4 inches. I don't.
Oh, is
see
that all
the-
it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like you all of a sudden get to lay back. I mean, it's funny. I don't know. Like they're like, please, what do they say? Please put your seat up, and then it's like a half inch. Oh, there. Now we're safe.
No, everything's good.
So I don't really see the appeal, but people have strong opinions
God.
on if you can use it.
I will always ask the person in front of me, because usually on a flight, I'm working on something. I got videos, I got audio, I got to cut, I got my laptop out, and you're already in a confined space anyways.
Yeah. Yep.
And the way those seats are made, they are about the same exact height where the little clip is. It's about the same exact height as the laptop screen. So I've had people, they were sitting upright and then they recline back, and what happens is it kind of like folds the seat up a little bit.
Yeah.
And the lip of where the tray clips in will catch the top of my laptop screen and almost compress it. And if you do that hard enough, you will definitely crack a laptop.
Yeah.
And I've done it. It came close one time, and it was right when I bought my new MacBook, and it was very expensive. So now I'm in the habit of telling people that are sitting in front of me, "Hey, more than welcome to recline your seat. If you do, could you just do me a quick favor and just let me know so I can move my laptop back so
Yep.
nothing happens?" And almost 9 times out of 10, they never recline their seat back.
That's actually ingenious because the barrier that you put of that social situation of having to inform somebody something is almost enough barrier that people would never involve you.
Yeah.
Like,
Ingenious. Putting a seat back.
no, I think it's ingenious. It's almost like an
I
accidental.
don't think it's ingenious necessarily.
Yeah, but just asking them, just the
Yeah.
fact that you ask them, it puts it in their brain like, I don't want to put that guy out. Or even sometimes
nice.
they're embarrassed to even ask.
I know, like that
why?
small barrier of asking, hey, or just giving a heads up, that one social. People will avoid talking to strangers. Like there's personality types that will avoid talking to strangers beyond any belief that you would be shocked
Yeah.
by. And so, like, that personality trait, if you get that, which is, I'm sure, a bunch of people, they're like, it's not worth dealing with informing that
Yeah.
person we're going to recline it.
Plus, what's wrong with asking somebody if you don't mind if I recline my seat? I think that's nice. You are taking up 4 of their inches that they paid for. So feel free to ask.
I would never ask.
Really?
No, I would never think about it. Because, like, I don't, like, it just seems like it's a different world back there.
I don't know. I mean, somebody's got a cup of hot coffee sitting on that tray, and then you decide to recline back quickly, and then, that could be bad business.
Engineering wise, yes, I see the flaws.
Yeah.
But I don't mean it in like, I just never have thought about the idea of involving the person behind me in what I'm going to do with my chair.
Like I said, I don't recline, so none of this involves me. I don't like to sit back. I don't like sitting like this. Never have. I don't know why it is either.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never recline my seat, so none of this has ever bothered me. Somebody reclines in front of me, I don't give a rat's ass about that either.
Yeah.
Because I try to sleep when I'm on an airplane.
Can you?
Once in a while, not very often, though.
Well, it'd be different if the seat went back at a 43-degree angle. But it goes
43
back,
on the nose.
It literally goes back like 3.5 degrees. It's
I
like
know.
it's like I'm so uncomfortable. Click. Oh, look at all the amount of comfort I now have.
But
Yeah.
I'm in a lot of danger if this plan ever lands.
Yes.
So I better,
All true.
You're so right. Better put that tray up because hitting the ground at 400 miles an hour, it might save your life.
Yeah, that tray, get it out of here.
You guys ever been on a plane when somebody had a fit?
No.
I saw a lady get arrested on my last flight
there
to
you go.
Austin.
Why?
She
Oh, wait,
would-
yeah.
She was super drunk, and before we even took off, she was already yelling. And I thought, and I was, and my
God.
flight was already delayed once, and this was the last flight to get to Austin, and I was basically getting off the plane, hustling to the venue, not even stopping at the hotel, dropping off my luggage, getting on stage, doing 2 shows, going to the hotel, and I was like, lady, if you get this plane turned around, I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah.
And she got hammered, started yelling stuff. At some point, she knocked the stewardess came over and handed her, hey, ma'am, maybe you should have a little bit of water. And she took the water and she slapped it out of the flight attendant's hand, went all over the guy in between. All of a sudden, this dude from the front row stands up. Badass beard, flannel shirt, got like the fishing cap, the trucker cap. I mean, this dude is super jacked. He walks back over to her seat, and he looks at the guy who's sitting next to her and says, "Sir, why don't you go ahead and take my seat in the front row up there." So he stands up. That guy sits down. This lady is super trash. She's going, "You can't take away my freedoms. I have the right to be here." Finally, she kind of settles down a little bit.
Yeah.
And when everybody stands up, the plane lands, it stops, and then everybody stands up. She stands up, and the guy goes, "Ma'am, sit down." And she says, "You can't tell me what to do." And the guy said, "Ma'am, I can tell you what to do. I am asking you nicely. You don't want to see what's going to happen if you don't sit down." She doesn't sit down, starts making a scene. He takes her one arm behind the back, head up against the window, slams it in. She's like, "I didn't do anything." Puts her arms behind her, zip ties them, pulls her off, takes her out. We see her sitting on the ground as we're walking through the airport. We see her sitting on the ground, bawling her eyes out, yelling the same thing over. "I didn't do anything. This lady was sticking her tongue out at people. She spat on one woman.
Oh, my
knocked
God.
the water out of the flight attendant's hand. It was a mess. And it was like, all you had to do, why did you have to step on your own feet? All you had to do was sit down and be quiet, and you'd be getting to your destination. But instead, you're going to jail.
So this guy was an employee of the airline, I'm assuming.
He was an air marshal, yeah.
that's what I
And
thought,
boy,
yeah.
he was a badass.
Yeah.
He had the Scott Studwell fire in the eye, like I am just waiting for somebody to mess up.
We got to get Scott on the show again. I miss Scott. I had dinner with him. He and Marky Rosen and Meat Sauce, and I had dinner.
Oh, fun.
I haven't seen him now. I bet it's been almost. When did his book come out? Studwell's book. Was that about a year ago, wasn't it?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Studwell's one of the great guys you'd ever want to meet. I don't know that I'd want to piss him off, That'd be a different subject. But, yeah, those air marshals, you don't want to mess with an air marshal. I'm just here to tell you.
That is so intense. The idea that somebody gets like almost hogtied on your plane, that's insane.
Don't misbehave. That's all I'm saying.
It blows my mind that like anybody would spit on somebody, act a fool like that. Like, I don't ever think I've even came close to seeing something like that on a plane.
So great. I'm sitting on an airplane just a couple of months ago, and an Asian family gets on.
Yeah.
The husband, the wife, and the daughter, right, the little kid. They get on the plane, and as they're coming down the aisle, they see me, and they stop and they go, "Oh, Tom Barnard, how you doing?" I said, "Not too bad. How are you?" "Oh, everything's going great. It's nice to run into you and all the rest of it." I said, "So you guys enjoy the show?" And they go, "About half the time."
That's funny.
In other words, I piss them off once in a while is the way it sounds.
About half. Hey, you know what? That's the kind of honesty that we kind of love, right?
I loved it.
I would love it if somebody said, "Brittany, sometimes I don't enjoy listening to you." I'd say, same.
That's great.
I don't enjoy listening to myself sometimes as well.
Exactly. Exactly right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on the line, Doug Sprinthal, live in the new GM from Flagship Ford in Baldwin, Wisconsin, home of my new EV Ford Mustang. Online, flagshipford.com. That's flagshipford.com. Dougie, you're what, 6'3", 6'4"?
I'm 6'4" and 220, so I'm a little bit larger than the former president.
So you were not a big fan of flying on airplanes in coach, I would guess.
Oh, God, no.
A guy as big as you. Yeah, that leg room must not be all that great.
No, it's not fun at all. Years and years ago, Sarah and I got to go on a dealer trip. They flew us to Korea to tour Hyundai for a week. It was really, really interesting. But the company wouldn't pay for first-class seats, so it's 13 hours to Japan in coach. And my wife, being 4'11", goes, "I've got plenty of leg room." Like, shut up, I hate you.
You're 1.5 feet taller than your wife. That's amazing.
Well, yeah.
Almost.
No, I didn't know she was short when I met her.
I know, you told me that. Said, God, I was hoping she'd be taller.
Yeah, oh, well.
Something like that. So how you doing, Pally?
I'm doing really good. How are you?
Magnificent. Went to the Twins game last night. Josh Arnold got a suite, went there, met a bunch of great people that are listeners of the show. Just very, very nice. Matter of fact, every guy who runs an elevator at Target Field listens to this show. So I want to say good morning to all. It's just, they were all, I get on one elevator and the guy looks at me and goes, "I recognize you." And then when I talk to him, they were very, very nice. Everybody I've run into lately is just very pleasant. What the hell's going on?
Well, it's the most beautiful time of the year in Minnesota.
That's
I think
true.
For both of us, it is perfect.
Good
I
point.
do have to call you and the rest of the Minnesota Twins fans out, though.
Okay.
You guys are the worst. I mean, a month and a half ago, it's like, well, they're in first place, but they totally suck. They're the worst first-place team in the history of baseball. And now that it looks like they're going to win and make it into the playoffs, y'all are going to the games going, yeah, the 2 grand slams in 2 days. I think this team's got a chance.
Apparently you weren't listening to the first hour of the show, huh?
No, I wasn't.
Because
I just got up about 15 minutes ago.
I said on the show that game last night really sucked. So I haven't changed my tone at all.
Oh, so I didn't watch last night's game. I did watch the one 2 nights ago. It was pretty exciting.
Yeah, I mean, Royce Lewis is getting a hit or two. You may have noticed.
Yeah, no kidding.
No, it's great. It's the Twins. The problem with me, Doug, and you know this to be true, I have a massive problem with the Minnesota Twins. I am such a huge fan. I get very emotional about. I've always been a Twins fan.
I know, and we are kind of like Charlie Brown and the Twins are Lucy holding the football, right?
That's pretty much true, yes.
And you have to be Charlie Brown because you don't want to go through life without having some hope, right? But you get the ball yanked out from in front of you more times than not.
Well, let me put it this way.
I hope they finish strong and make it into the playoffs. That'd be awesome.
Well, I think they're going to. That would be nice.
Yeah.
I don't know where they'll go from there, but you have to understand something. 3 more clicks, and we have been in the World Series in a quarter of a century.
Now you're talking to a Boston Red Sox fan, so blow it. We went from World War I to 2004.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Oh, I love that. That's a great stat.
That was a bit of a drought.
A bit of a drought. So what the hell? So what do you got planned for the weekend?
Actually, I'm going to take Saturday off. By the way, we are closed on Monday. Nice thing about working in a smaller dealership, we're closed on all the holidays, Labor Day and Memorial Day. But we are open on Saturday. I won't be there. I think that, we haven't planned it out yet, but it's supposed to be really hot. We might take a trip in the boat, maybe head up to Stillwater or Red Wing. I don't know yet.
God.
We'll do something. Usually, Memorial and Labor Day, you just plan on it raining and being crappy, but this is going to be I think a record-breaking hot weekend for Labor Day, isn't it?
I believe if it's not a record breaker, it's very close. I know that. I know that to be. And by the way, Dougie, you gotta go down to what's the name of that area, where you park your boat down there in Red Wing?
Red Wing Marina.
Oh, it's just Red Wing. I thought it had another name too, but my niece is getting married at the St. James in Red Wing in October, and I cannot wait. I love that area where you guys boat. It's just gorgeous. Beautiful.
Yeah, so the boaters call that Cindy's because the woman that owns that marina is just fabulous. She's
okay.
An exceptional person, and we all hang out with her just because she's cool. I'll tell you a quick story about her. When my dad died, I guess it was a year and a half ago, in the spring before last, She texted me. I'm not even I don't even keep my boat in the marina. I go down there once a year. I thought that was just really tough. So, I love Red Wing. I've got a lot of friends down there. Our buddy Brian O'Shaughnessy lives in Red Wing now. He's the guy that lost his. He was on the podcast. He lost his son to a drive-by, and then another one in an overdose. I think last spring. So. It's a great town, and the St. James is beautiful.
You go from, I'm telling you, Hastings, I love Hastings, all the way down Highway 61 is just spectacular.
Well, I think the thing about that is that they're actual towns. They're not, former cornfields like where I live and most of us in the suburbs, right? Lakeville, really not a lot of lakes there, and there's really not much of a village other than downtown with a bowling alley. It's just old farms. But Hastings and Red Wing, Winona, Wabasha, those are all, towns that have been around for, 100 or 2 years. And there's something different about that.
I will close with this because I love it when in the state of Minnesota, western Wisconsin, wherever you're going, when they retained the old buildings. They didn't tear them all down. I love those old buildings. They're just beautiful.
Yeah, and not to rip Minneapolis because I love the city, but that's kind of what they did to downtown. Everything was built in the 60s, and it just looks horrible.
I agree. They tore all. There were some spectacular buildings downtown Minneapolis, and they tore 99% of them down. Yeah,
they kept a few, the Grand Exchange and stuff like that, but most of them are. Well, progress marches slowly on. So if you're interested in Fords or have questions, always reach out to me at Doug@flagshipford.com. Sold another used Mach-E yesterday to a guy from the cities. We're doing really well with those. When I got there, I said, how's the Mach-E going? They go, well, they're expensive. We sell a few now and then. I said, how about used ones? Oh, we'd never sell them around here. So I've been buying them at Ford factory auctions off lease, and we actually sell a lot more used ones than we do new. So
I absolutely love mine, and I'm not making that up. If I didn't like it, I'd go, oh yeah, it's a good car. That's if I didn't like it. I love that damn car. It's one of my favorites of all time. It's so fast.
The two cool things about being a general manager of a dealership, one is people are required to salute because you're a general when you walk in the morning. And secondly, you can drive whatever you want. And I'm learning the product line still because Ford's really broad, but 7 times out of 10 I'll drive a Mach-E because I just love the way they drive. They're just so fast and they handle so well. It's cool. So thank you for getting the word out on that. It's really it's driven some business, so it's cool.
Catherine pointed because whenever we go somewhere, Catherine always drives. She will never let me drive.
Oh my God!
I get too emotional.
She's not in jail. I've driven with your wife before. I think all the pent up frustration she has.
Oh, yeah, she
from
yells.
Being married to you for 40 years. When she gets behind the wheel.
Catherine's got words to say on the road. I was like,
oh my God, she's brutal.
I forgot about that. It's been so long I've been in a car with her. All of a sudden she'll be like, what the hell is, I'm like, whoa.
I got to be honest, just yesterday going down to Target Field.
Yeah.
We're going down 394 and there's a space, we have to get in the left lane to exit.
Yeah.
Because you're going into the Twins area, not down 94, right?
Yeah.
So Catherine signals. She waits a couple seconds and moves over. The woman in the left lane was really nowhere near us, laid on her horn.
Oh, God.
You should have heard the redhead go off the deep end of her, giving her the finger, rolling down the window. Catherine lost her mind.
It's unhinged in a way I appreciate.
There's no
but the
reason.
Weird thing is, and Brittany, her better than I do. I mean, normally she's cool, calm, and collected, right?
Oh yeah, that's what was so wild getting in a car with her.
She just freaks out.
I can't remember. Oh yeah, we were biking. It was me, Alex, and Catherine biking a bunch, and one of us got a flat tire, and so we had to go back to the house and pick it up with the car, and whatever. And again, we're having a lovely biking trip with her. We were biking all over Theo Worth, and all of a sudden we get in the car, and she's a maniac. I was like, oh my God, where was this calm lady? We were singing songs while biking like 2 seconds ago, and now she's like, get out of my way, MRFR. And I'm like, what the hell? It's like... And here when I'm always like, I'm sorry. When I drive, I'm always like, I'm sorry. Oh, you just gotta let me in. Like I'll verbalize that. And Catherine's like, get the hell out of my way. It's so.
Yeah,
I love her.
should not drive a car that goes 0 to 60 in 4 seconds.
No,
I'll
you're
look
right.
around for a diesel Chevette for her.
Yeah, there you go. That's what she needs. Absolutely.
I forgot about that. That
God,
unlocked a
it's
really great
hilarious.
memory. Thank you, Doug.
Well, there was
You're
no reason.
welcome.
There was no reason for that woman to honk at her last night. There was plenty of room for her to get in. She signaled, waited a few seconds, and then moved over. And the woman just had to be an asshole. So Catherine let her know that.
Yeah, I'm sure she did. Oh.
So what
well.
cured me of road rage years ago is that I would get mad at people and flip them off and stuff like that. And I'm like, wait a minute. They might be customers of my former employer. This would not look good if I get in an accident with them.
Probably
Anyway.
true.
I
Probably.
always remind myself, Brittany, you've done that same thing before. You've done that same. You've didn't see that person that one time or this or that. I always remind myself, you've definitely done that
Wait
before.
a minute. You're a pain in the ass. When? I've never
When?
seen it.
Have you ever been to Robbinsdale?
Yeah, ever been to Robbinsdale, which is right next to New Hope? And what a dope. All right, Dougie, you're going to have a
All right,
great
kids,
day.
I'll talk to you tomorrow. Have a great day.
Sounds
Hi,
good. Thanks, Dougie.
Doug.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Bye.
longtime friend of the Tom Barnard Show, Doug Sprinthal, Flagship Ford in Baldwin, Wisconsin. Online, it's flagshipford.com. One of the reasons I love to have him on so much is because sometimes you got on the radio and all that stuff, you got these fake friendships. And,
Yeah.
hey, here's my buddy from Bill's Berditzman.
Yeah.
It's not like that with Dougie. Dougie and I are really, really good friends. Well, I am with. If I say somebody on the air, somebody's my friend, they're my friend.
Yeah, I know.
Don't just make it up.
You really don't.
I hate that when people make it up. Makes me want to hurl. You know what I mean?
Yes, I'm still living in the mindset of PTSD from being in a car with your wife.
I understand. And I'm married to her, so what does that tell you? Okay, so we'll close with this because we got to move on. But
Yeah.
Last night at the game, watching it, and somebody was talking about a friend of theirs getting divorced for the third time. And I said, God, it's so sad to hear that kind of thing. And I said, Catherine, isn't it kind of weird? I mean, I've known you for 42 years. We've been married for 39 years, and we've never once considered divorce. And she goes,
Crickets, crickets.
she starts staring at people like, really? Is that what he thinks?
Never have I ever. She just changes the subject.
Yes.
The twins, huh?
Absolutely. All right, we do have to take a break. Be right back in a couple minutes.
When you need someone to listen, a lawyer you know and trust.
The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says riding a bus to school is 13 times safer than riding in a passenger vehicle and 10 times safer than walking to school. The reality of school bus safety is that more children are hurt outside the bus than inside as passengers. Most of the children who lose their lives in bus-related crashes are pedestrians, 4 to 7 years old, who are hit by the bus or by motorists illegally passing a stopped school bus. Please be patient and use extra caution when driving near children and school buses. And never pass a bus when the arm is down and red lights are flashing. The children inside and their parents are counting on us. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. I hope you're never injured in an accident, but if you are, don't sign anything until you've talked to a lawyer.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
There's plenty of thoughts that come into your head when you think the name Killebrew. Of course, there's the Minnesota baseball legend, Harmon, who was responsible for many a favorite memory at the old Met Stadium in Bloomington, and many a baseball that ended up in the stands and in the gloves of adoring fans from his home runs. There's Killebrew Drive, the legendary road that connects Highway 77 to the Mall of America, and a day of shopping you'll never forget. My current thoughts for the name Killebrew is fun floats in our kitchen with my kids and grandkids, a cool, refreshing break in between innings at Target or CHS Field. Or maybe a perfect sunset paired with a sweet, frothy beverage after fishing or on your favorite walleye lake. Killebrew root beer and cream soda. Grab a six-pack at a grocery or convenience store near you. I'm Tom Barnard. This summer, enjoy the one Killebrew root beer and cream soda.
Your family will love Minnesota-made Killebrew old-fashioned root beer and cream soda. Then cheer on the fun. Take it from me, Ken Herbeck. Killebrew. It's how memories are created and legends are made.
Yeah, baby.
Shut the hell up.
Every day.
Also, you do say yeah, baby. Remember the time I tried to say yeah, baby with you yesterday and you made fun of me?
Because you don't do it right.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby.
That timing was insane.
It always is.
I was getting ready to talk to Kristyn about Ariana Grande and why we're not talking about her
We
lover.
will. We could do that, but
Okay,
I just
cool.
want to point out.
Let's do it. I got lots of gossip.
I got to mention quickly, I ran into one of the building managers out in the hall. What a nice person. Very nice people in this building.
They told me I have to start parking better.
Well, because you suck at parking?
No, I don't know. I was just trying to think of something that they would be like.
Oh,
Also,
my God.
tell Brittany to start parking better in the line. No, there's nothing.
What they mean by that?
Taking like 1.5 spots.
Yeah, because my car does. I don't want to ding it. I'm totally joking. None of that is true.
Oh, you
Very
see people
LA
do that.
thing that happens. People take 1.5.
They
So
park at an
annoying.
angle, yep.
I would never. My car is not that nice.
By the way, your coexist taking up 2 parking spots.
Yeah.
Hits on stage, by the way.
Does
Thank you for that joke.
You're
it's funny.
welcome.
Yeah.
Yes.
There you go.
Score one for the Britster. Yep,
The
that's
Britster.
a nickname I'm giving myself.
Do you have any shirts that fit? All your shirts are way too long in the sleeves.
That's so funny you say that. I love wearing oversized
I
clothes.
know you do.
And then sometime the other day, somebody saw me in a tank top and they go, "You're a lot smaller than I thought." I go,
Smaller, aren't you like 6 feet
"No,
tall?
because I always wear big clothes."
Yeah, you do wear big
I
clothes.
love big clothes.
Oh, did you got that? You got that little thumb deal in there?
No, I just get cold.
Oh, you just do
I
it
love
anyway.
a thumb hole in sweatshirts.
Me too.
There you go. That's what she's doing. All right, so you guys were talking about Ariana Grande, is that?
Whoa, Ariana. That's how she sings.
Did I tell you I have to leave today at 7:58?
Oh, what a coincidence. Right now.
Coincidence.
Welcome to the Bravo TV segment.
Okay, but this one's not Bravo. We do have to talk about why are no. Okay, so Ariana Grande, she was married,
Okay.
and she was in this movie Wicked with her co-star. They're filming it right now, where they were, and he was married, and his wife had a baby on the way.
Oh, no.
Ariana Grande, and what's this guy's name?
Ethan Slater.
They hook up. They're like together now. They're dating, so they both
Mm-hmm.
had to write like, "Hey wifey" and "Hey husband, we don't want to be together."
Wifey.
But all of a sudden, everything's gone silent about their relationship after they formally left their significant others. Kristyn, what's happening?
Okay, so just so everyone knows, Wicked is filming back-to-back movies, like the first part and the second part in London. So they've been there since last summer. Obviously, they're on hiatus because of the strike. There's still 10 days left in filming. So they're all going to have to go back to set at some point just to like add this kind of mess to like the whole pile of everything that's going on. But I think what's interesting is that the 4 of them, so Lily J is Ethan Slater's wife, and Dalton Gomez is Ariana Grande's wife. The 4 of them would be in London. They'd be going on double dates, all while Ariana is carrying on an affair with Ethan. Ethan already has, his son is 1 year old, so the son is already here. And Ariana would play with the baby and talk to Lily and go, "I can't wait to start a family." Ha ha ha. Like, with who? Her husband? Like, it's just like crazy. Everybody on set knew what was going on. They didn't hide it until somebody, of course, from set spilled the beans to the media. And when they all had to leave London because of the actors' strike, I think Ariana Grande's management team was like, "You've got to squash this." And Ethan had already filed for divorce. He's in New York, she's in Los Angeles, and she's giving Ethan breathing room while he deals with his custody situation and the end of his marriage. Meanwhile, Dalton and Ariana have not filed for divorce.
Dang. Do we think that Ethan and Ariana are not endgame? Is that what's happening?
I don't think that they're going to be endgame. I mean, I think this is a showmance. It happens on set.
Yeah.
You're filming 2 movies back to back for a year.
Yeah.
So that creates a really unrealistic bubble.
Yeah, it's like a
He's part of-
deployment.
Yeah, and he's part of the Broadway world. And if anyone takes a look, Ethan Slater looks just like Ariana Grande's brother, Frankie Grande.
The what?
They look like twins. Pull up a photo, put them side by side. I bet Google already has a side-by-side image. It is horrifying.
Yeah, I dated a woman who looked a lot like my mom when my mom was like 22 years old. And that girl's name is Christine, and my mom's name is Christine.
Oh.
So when it finally dawned on me one day, like somebody brought it up, they're like, "That woman kind of looks like your mom." And I thought, that's ridiculous. And then I went and dug out an old picture and saw it. I was like, this should end. This should end now. It's very weird. It didn't even dawn on me. So weird.
That is so weird that that hits.
Yeah.
And then the relationship cannot go on.
No, of course not. No, like, I mean, how many times have you dated like somebody named, for a guy, like a guy will date a Tara and then it'll end terribly. And then 5 years later, he meets the woman of his dreams at a grocery store and he goes, hi, my name is Bill. And she goes, my name is Tara. And he's like, sorry, can't do it.
I'm
Because
out.
just that name kills you.
Really?
Yeah, I can't do it.
I dated a Judson with a D, and now I'm married to a Justin.
Yeah, and then you see Judd every morning, and that's why you want to rip his eyes out. I get it.
I love Judd. I always tell Judd I love him because he feels like I feel like he does think I hate him.
There's even a thing in Hollywood that sometimes you don't get cast because you look like the casting director's like ex-girlfriend.
Oh, I
or something like that.
bet.
I think that's it's a thing, actually.
I mean, I'm sure it's an accidental bias and sometimes a purposely bias, but yeah, right? Like we all have that. We all carry bias with us.
Oh, no, we don't. I would never care about something like that. Seriously, because they have the same name, you give a rat's ass? Who cares?
Yeah.
I don't really understand. Although I guess, I was trying to think of, I dated a Layla once. I suppose that's not a common name.
No, it's not.
Her name, full name, you ready for her full name? Well, it was her real name, too. Layla Levan.
Okay, that's beautiful. No wonder you dated her.
That's a sexy name.
She was really good at the stiff arm, though. I was like, okay, Tom, see you later.
Bye.
Anyway, goodbye.
Layla Levan.
No, seriously, that wouldn't bother me in the least. Well, first of all, I couldn't have dated someone who looks like my mother because my mother was a lot older than me. And then the other thing is, it's really hard to find a young woman named Toots these days.
Yeah.
Or Theophila.
I was like, even Theophila might be harder.
Theophila.
My mother's name was the love of God.
Thea.
What?
Did she ever get called Thea, or was it always Toots?
Theo, yeah. They called her Theo, and
Theo.
mostly Toots, but Theo, yeah.
That's cute.
Yeah.
Which is, God.
That's pretty cute.
That's-
Theo.
I know. It would be a really cute girl's name.
Yeah, except the name is God. My mother was God.
I mean, she was.
Theophila means the love of God.
Tell
That's
me
all
she
I know.
wasn't.
Well, she was. You're absolutely right. Oh, the kitty's back.
Hi,
She's
London.
Kitty.
She missed me. She's been all over me today.
Yeah, you're back home, thank God. Did they just have bad connections down in San Diego? What the hell was that? That was weird.
It wasn't me.
Oh, yeah,
wasn't
this
me.
end was totally screwed up yesterday. I don't know
Correct.
what the hell that was.
It was not.
And it's crazy because I did another interview after I spoke with you guys. It was Zoom. It was not StreamYard. And it was fine. So I was like, that's weird.
So, yeah, our end was messed up. When Judd came on, we had to reboot and okay. Yeah, I don't know what the hell that's all about. Although, didn't somebody tell me there's something going on? They're working on phone lines and electricity and all that stuff.
They did it here with Comcast. It was fine after that because none of our internet was down. Like I had no problem being able to upload and download giant files after the show last night. So I imagine Andy and I we boiled it down to maybe something on StreamYard's end.
Oh, yeah, that could be. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no doubt about it. But it's good today.
Happens.
So that's good. We can hear you yammering on with Brittany.
Because you don't care about Ariana Grande and Ethan
I couldn't
Slater.
care less about Ariana Grande. But, I do like listening to the report, though, because I learned things.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't
you
pick
get
her.
a little bit of pop culture.
I couldn't pick her out in a crowd. I have no idea who that is, even. I heard the name, but I have no idea what she looks like.
She's very
She's
cute.
got a slicked back high pony all the time.
Oh, she does? Okay.
Yeah. And she's petite and tiny. But you know who's back? And the trailer was just released this morning. Meg Ryan in a new rom-com.
I love her.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, give me the name.
Yes, it's called What Happens Later. It's coming out October 13th. From the trailer, it looks adorable. Her co-star is David Duchovny.
Ooh, love
I love that
And
combo.
Meg Ryan also directed this film. And I think what's interesting is that it's two people in their 60s. They reunite when they are stuck in a snowstorm at an airport. They just happen to cross paths.
In Minnesota.
And they kind of rehash what happened in their romance 25 years before and like why it fell apart.
Oh, this is cute.
It's a really cute premise.
If you want to find a movie that is similar to that, but it is with people that are in their like upper 30s, low 40s, check out a movie with Sarah Paulson and Mark Duplass called Blue Jay. It's the same premise. He comes back, or she comes back to town for like a funeral, and then they meet at a coffee shop, and they end up going to a cabin and talking about why it is their relationship from high school didn't last. And it is it's one of those movies that if you see me watching it, it's like, something's bad. Something's wrong. It's like season 8, episode 4 of Scrubs. You see me watching that, I'm going off the deep end.
I guess that would the one I thought you were gonna say maybe Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless
That's
Mind.
another one, yeah.
That's another good
Where
one.
they
It's a
dissect their
great premise.
relationship. Yeah, I like that.
The big deal with this one will be this is Meg Ryan's first return to the screen in 8 years, but she's really been kind of a recluse in Hollywood. Ever since she had her affair with Russell Crowe, she kind of just disappeared off the face of the Hollywood map, and it's been really interesting. People are always like, why aren't you doing a comeback? And I think she kind of does it on her own terms. And for a long time, she was in a relationship with John Mellencamp and just kind of living in Indiana. But she's back.
John Mellencamp's a great guy. Whatever happened there? I thought those kids would be together forever.
I heard he is a very difficult person to have a relationship with.
No.
Even he admitted he's a horrible person to have a relationship with.
He just played Duluth, Minnesota, 3 years ago, and he played the Symphony Hall at the Deck, and my uncle bought tickets for $150. Mellencamp came out in a tank top and a pair of blue jeans, and he played Rockin' in the USA, and then Jack and Diane, and then he went backstage, came out in a tux, and then played nothing but big band standards for the next 2 hours, and my uncle was shit angry about it.
Why would he do that?
He's like, I paid all this. I wanted to hear all the hits, man. Yeah. But then for some reason he was out there just crooning away all night, just singing, I got a lot of living to do. It's like, no, you're John Mellencamp. Come on.
I would have bought a ticket to Tony Bennett had he been alive.
Absolutely,
yeah. Yeah. That's rough.
Yeah, that's too bad because he came into KQ a couple of times and sat in Studio B and played the guitar and sang and stuff. Very nice guy in person. At least I thought he was a nice guy, but why would you do that to people? That makes no sense.
Yeah, I don't know. The old bait and switch.
I guess. Yeah. I guess, but I like his music. He does a terrific Jack and Diane and all that good stuff. I thought Ryan and those kids would be together forever. That's what I thought.
I had gone to Shania Twain and at Hollywood Bowl earlier this summer, and I found that when it came to her hits, she just started handing the mic out to the audience and just being like, sing. And I'm like, now, these were press seats, so my seats were free. But had I paid for these seats, I would have been really upset that I'm just listening to 18,000 people in the Hollywood Bowl sing Still the One.
Yeah, by the way, she's a hell of all the people you just mentioned, very, very talented people. No question about that. So
talented, but sometimes I think
nuts.
She just looked, and it was so funny because I ran into another friend and she goes, I can't believe it. She was in her last trimester and she goes, I can't believe I brought my pregnant ass out to see someone who couldn't be bothered to show up for her own concert. Meaning she just seemed so she was sold out. There were a ton of celebrities in the audience. This is LA, and she looked like she wanted to be anywhere else but at the Hollywood Bowl that night.
Yeah, there is such a fine line between having the audience say a couple lines to then going ahead and micromanaging your own concert and just nobody wants that. I don't want to hear their version. I want to hear the artist singing. I'm fine with once in a while that don't impress me much. Okay, but
absolutely
Still the One. No, you gotta belt that one.
The whole audience Still the One, and and it's just oh, come on.
Yes.
And for a lot of people too, a lot of them, it was their wedding song back in the 90s. I think for a lot of people, they just said they were really disappointed because it was a great memory for them.
Yeah.
Or maybe they got engaged to it, whatever it was. And she did it more than once on more than one song. And it's crazy because she sounds good. She looks great. The staging was fabulous. And it was just kind of a real disappointment. I was like, okay.
God, I was trying to think the last concert I went to, and it might have been Paul McCartney about 15 years ago. I haven't been to a concert in a long time.
That was the last concert you went to?
Well, remember, I was at Capitol for 8 years, so I went to concerts every night for 8 years, pretty much. So it gets a little old after a while, I got to be honest with you. But seeing Paul McCartney play is pretty spectacular.
That's pretty spectacular.
Maybe we should take you to an Ariana Grande concert.
No, you couldn't.
No. I wouldn't want to take him either. He would be miserable.
I'd be miserable.
Does Catherine like going to concerts?
Oh, you know what? The last concert I went to, actually, I'll back up a little bit. A couple of years ago, Catherine and I went and saw Tony Bennett.
See, I thought she would want to go see stuff.
Oh, God, it was wonderful.
He's amazing.
we had hanging out with some clients last night at the Twins game, and there were a couple of guys I met, just really, really nice guys. And we were talking about did I ever tell you the Sicilian guy in my neighborhood, the Sicilian father? I walked in the house and he was playing Tony Bennett. This is a true story. I will never forget it. And again, there was Catholics, blacks, and Jews that lived in my neighborhood. So I walk in and he's playing Tony Bennett. Now his father is from Sicily. He grew up in Sicily, then moved to America and had the family. So I walk in and here's his Sicilian father standing there, and I'm listening to Tony Bennett, and I go, "Oh man, I love Tony Bennett." He goes, "What?" I said, "I love Tony Bennett." He goes, "Let me tell you something. In this house, it is Antonio de Benedetto." You couldn't say his fake name.
Oh,
it had to be his
God.
Italian. It's his Italian name or get out.
That's
Okay.
funny. Yes, sir.
Yes,
He
and
would
I
have
did.
kept his Italian name had he started in the business now.
Oh, God, yes.
Now, yeah, it's so funny. You don't change your name anymore unless someone has it.
That's very true. Antonio de Benedetto. And he, by the way, we lost a couple of good ones this month. We lost him and we lost Bob Barker. What the hell?
I know. They're doing a tribute to Bob Barker tomorrow. Today's Wednesday. On Thursday, yeah. So you can catch it on CBS and Paramount Plus. I think it's at 8 p.m. So.
There is a big cat rescue place here in Minnesota, and I guess Bob Barker sent them $400,000 to help them out.
Wow.
That's so
Very,
cool.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
He's leaving his entire estate to charities.
Yeah, yep.
Did he have kids?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I don't remember.
believe
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, you've never heard him in the news or, Bob Barker's son busted for DUI. Like, you never saw any
Right.
of that, so.
He was too busy having affairs with the Barker's beauties.
You got that right, sister.
Yeah, which led to many sexual harassment cases, which has been swept under the rug. People forget
Oh,
that
yeah.
part
Oh,
of
yeah.
like the story.
What did he say? What did he say to Adam Sandler again? Something about "Don't mess with me, bitch."
The
or what
price
was
is
it?
wrong,
Wrong,
bitch.
The price is wrong, bitch. That's
Yeah,
what it
that was,
Wearing his golf glove.
yeah.
Oh, you haven't had enough.
yeah.
And he goes harder. Yeah.
That's phenomenal.
Oh, that line. What is he says something like,
Price is wrong,
"You're the
bitch."
worst golfer I've ever seen, and I've golfed with so-and-" I can't remember who he says, but yeah.
Oh,
he
his
was
whole
great in
rant
that.
is so funny.
It was
I love
genius. That was geniusly written
Yeah.
because
It was.
just
Yep.
have to hand it to Adam Sandler for making that cameo happen.
No question. Because I didn't think I was going to like that movie, and I actually really enjoyed it.
No, it's
I
great.
I thought it was terrific.
Adam Sandler has his best rated movie currently on Netflix, and it doesn't star him. I mean, he's a co-star, but it's his daughter, Sunny. You Are So Not Invited to My Bat Mitzvah is on Netflix, and it's the best reviewed movie of his career.
Even over like Rain Over Me?
Yes.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
You know, I just realized, I didn't realize there were more than about 2 Jews in the entire state of New Hampshire. Seriously. Adam Sandler's Jewish. I didn't know he was Jewish.
No, yeah, he lived there. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, he grew up in New Hampshire, yeah.
Yeah, ran into him
absolutely.
outside of a
There's
restaurant.
significant Jewish community in New England.
Oh, in New England, yes,
my
but
town-
not New Hampshire.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people wind up moving to New Hampshire because you live
Well,
in
true.
Massachusetts, and then
Yeah.
they move across the border to New Hampshire. So it
Taxachusetts.
happens a lot.
I love Taxachusetts.
I thought you said
Massachusetts.
I thought you said Trashachusetts, and I was like, that's the same thing. Yeah.
Interchangeable.
Taxachusetts. I mean, and that name has been around for decades. When I lived there, I remember them calling it Taxachusetts.
I only had him on the show one time. Adam Sandler doesn't do a lot of appearances, that kind of thing, but he was on the show one time, and he really wasn't into it. He tried his best, but you could just tell he didn't want to be there.
Yeah.
It's one of those kind of deals. So I'm kind of glad he doesn't do them anymore because I do like the guy. I mean, I don't know. I mean, as an actor, I don't know him or anything like that, but I do like his stuff in general. Mm-hmm. But yeah, when he was on, it's like, oh God, I don't like talking to someone for 10 minutes who doesn't want to be there.
I was just going to say, I don't think people realize how hard it is on the person who's conducting the interview.
Oh, yeah.
The amount of
Yep.
heavy lifting we have to do.
Yep.
It's exhausting. It's like you're like, I just went out and ran like a 10K. That's what it feels like
Yes.
when you
Yep.
and I've had to do it where I'm doing a long form interview, like 45 minutes, and you're just dying out there.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'll have people be like, I loved that interview. And I'm sitting there thinking in my head, that was so challenging. Or they give you like, yes, well, I don't think so. And you're like, Just give me a couple sentences.
Anything.
Rock bands are the worst. Rock, like people who are like rock metal guys, they are the worst assholes to deal with. And it's like, listen, get out here and dance for nickels, my friend. You're not making much money. Just be nice.
I know.
Yeah, you sold. Listen, you didn't sell out the Target Center. You sold out the 7th Street entry at First Ave. Okay.
And all I would want people to be is present. Just be present. You don't have to say anything profound. You don't need to have like these great answers. Just be in the conversation, because you can tell when people are, and it's just like fade, 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 fade. Oh my God, come back to me. Come back.
It's true. All right, she said come back. That means Kristyn has to go away.
No, I love Kristyn.
Way to go. Just give her the boot.
I bet your cats are just going to smother you all day today.
Yeah, I got home late last night, and they were just like both right on top of me. It was crazy, but.
Catherine leaves Jude for one day. I think he's going to have a heart attack when she comes home. He goes berserk.
Yeah.
It's like, good God.
Yeah.
He will run upstairs and look out the window, and then he'll run downstairs, move the curtain, and look out the back window because he can't find her, right? And then she comes
Bill
home.
says that about Linus. Yeah, he's like, well, I'm a full-time stay-at-home cat mom, so it's like, I leave for a couple hours, and they're like beside themselves.
Yeah, they don't like it.
No.
We will talk to you tomorrow, sister.
You bet. Have a good one.
Bye, Kristyn.
Kristyn Burtt, ladies and gentlemen, we'll take a break, be right back. Chris Egert will join us in just a couple of minutes. Thank you to North American Banking Company for being such a great partner of the Tom Barnard Morning Show. I've been banking there for years, and I highly recommend you do the same. North American Banking Company is locally owned and operated, which means loan decisions are made here in the Twin Cities. They're not shipped out of state. This helps business owners solve problems and expand their business with confidence. They offer the same online and mobile banking operations. The options that we're talking about here, mobile banking options, as other banks, but with the unparalleled service of a community bank. When North American Banking Company first opened in 1998, they made a promise to deliver a better banking experience for their customers, where you know your banker and they know you. Well, a lot has changed since 1998. This commitment to being a true community bank in the Twin Cities has not. There is no shortage of banking options in the Twin Cities. If you're tired of being just a number to your big national bank, be sure to check out North American Banking Company. I've been banking with them for years, even though it is Bilski.
Bilski.
Find them online at nabankco.com. That's nabankco.com. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
This is Bob Sansevier, and I want to tell you about Dave Bialki from Bialki Law. Dave represented my wife, Mary, when she had a significant workplace injury. She was very happy with the job Dave did. If you have a work-related injury and have Dave represent you, I'm betting you'll be happy too. Dave is a down-to-earth guy. He grew up in northern Minnesota, rides a Harley, and worked various jobs doing concrete, electrical, plumbing, roofing, and carpentry work. Dave works for people with work-related injuries. If you work construction, or anywhere for that matter, and you're hurt or even just hurting, you should talk to Dave. Let's face it, our bodies wear out. If your body is worn out from work, if your knees or back or shoulders hurt from things you do at work, do what Mary did. Call Dave and talk to him about it at Bialki Law to set up a free initial consultation. The number to call is 763-571-2410. That's 763-571-2410. Or visit bialkilaw.com. That's BIALKE law.com.
Hi, this is Tommy B. My friends at Niemeyer Trailer Sales at their Albertville location off Interstate 94 would like to extend a special offer going on now through the Minnesota State Fair. Along with everything you can buy on a stick at the Great Minnesota Sweat Together, you should have some cool incentives with a State Fair deal when you purchase an RV from Niemeyer's Albertville location. How's this sound? Receive a free exterior ceramic coat and NanoCure interior treatment. These coatings provide a durable, long-lasting shield against dirt, water, and UV rays, and basically extend the life of your RV to keep it looking newer and lasting longer. It's a $2,000 value, free with purchase if you get an RV from Niemeyer's by September 5th in Albertville only. Plus great deals on their campers at both Albertville and Elko New Market, now through the end of State Fair. Take your passion on the road with Niemeyer Trailer Sales and see my guys and gals at Niemeyer's and look at what they got at Niemeyers.com. That's Niemeyer.com, Niemeyers.com. Your State Fair deals end on September 5th. Oh, and tell them Tommy sent you. I'm here with Ben Williams, former defensive end for the Minnesota Vikings. Ben, you were in peak health playing football when you went into kidney failure and needed a transplant. An organ donor saved your life. What do you want people to know?
That's right, Tom. I found out my life was going to have two paths. Either hooked up to a dialysis machine 5 days a week, 4 hours a day for the rest of my life, or receive a kidney transplant. I actually started to lose hope. When I was about to start dialysis, I received a call. My perfect match for a kidney was available. A stranger checked the donor box on their driver's license and saved my life. I actually felt 18 again. Now I want to pay it forward by encouraging others to register. I learned from LifeSource that men register at rates much lower than women. We need more men to check the box at the DMV. When you pass away, that small decision and act can help someone like me.
There are 2,300 people in Minnesota like Ben right now waiting for a life-saving transplant. Make your game plan to be a hero. To learn more, visit life-source.org. We are back, 8:23, now 23 minutes after 8 o'clock. News brought to you by Mr. Money Talk Josh Arnold. Call Josh for your free 48-minute financial evaluation. As a matter of fact, Chris Egert is with us. He's at the State Fair. I'm assuming you're at the State Fair. I saw you there this morning.
Yes, sir. I'm at the State Fair.
It's how life should be, man. You should always be at the State Fair because you shine out there. There's no question about it.
The State Fair's, I'm always in the State Fair in my mind.
Well, that's great to
State Fair
hear.
state of mind.
State Fair
State of mind.
That'd be a good song, actually, a State Fair
That
State
would.
of Mind.
Hey-oh, look. I'm going to get the, right now, the trademark.
Is that you typing?
You got it done?
Yep, done.
Boom. See if the domain's open on the internet. Let's buy it.
I'm on it.
So, Mr. Egert, what's the latest out at the fair? Everything going well?
It's quite chilly at the fair today, actually, which is pretty odd.
61.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It's super nice. What's happening at the fair today? We're doing Zumba. I told Rudy that. Very exciting. There's some Zumba happening at the fair today.
Are you doing it?
Uh-huh.
Oh,
And
nice.
people are doing it. Yeah, there's like a Zumba, like this lady comes out and she does Zumba for the crowds, which is quite entertaining because you got 100, 250 people all sitting there doing Zumba.
Okay, so
it's the most awkward thing in the world to me, so it's very funny to watch.
I've done a handful of Zumba classes, and can I give you some advice to not piss off your Zumba co-stars?
Yeah. Don't overshine them. I mean, it's going to be hard for me.
That's true. Stick, even if you don't know the move with the crowd. Since you don't have the hand movement or the foot movement, don't just stop what you're doing when you get, whatever. Keep moving with the crowd because you don't want to mess up the person next to you.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, individuality is not appreciated in this sport. Is that what you're saying?
Correct. If you're finding yourself having trouble, still just kind of go to the right, go to the left. Yeah, keep it kosher there.
Noted. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, I have a big question. What the hell is Zumba?
Zumba!
It sounds like Brittany's the best equipped to answer that.
I'll just do it for you. So you just it's like line dancing, but they have like kind of a Latin twist to it. It's like exercise, dancing. It's fun.
Gee, how did I ever avoid that?
I'm shocked that you don't have
Yeah.
Zumba attire.
I went almost 50 years of my life avoiding it, but we had a Zumba segment a couple months ago, and it ended up being quite entertaining for people, I guess.
Well, that's good.
We were dancing, and I don't know, I don't know if I can express to you my deep hatred for line dancing or anything associated with it.
Yep.
It is the most uncomfortable. When people do that at a wedding dance, or it makes me physically ill. I'm so uncomfortable with it. So the Zumba thing's right in that same wheelhouse, right? So I guess I overcame a fear by doing it, maybe.
All right.
Something.
How about in dancing in general, Chris? Would you hit the dance floor at a wedding?
No.
Okay. So
I think the last time I danced at a wedding was probably my own, which would be 22 years ago. Listen, when you're tall and white and uncoordinated and now with only one leg, the last place you want to be is on the dance floor.
Mm-hmm. Respect.
Tom, are you a dancer?
No.
Catherine she ever talk you into doing a ballroom dancing thing or anything?
I mean, I've danced with my wife, but you have to remember I was in a band from the time I was 11 years old, so I was playing in the band. I wasn't dancing.
Yeah, no, that's true.
There's a big difference there, so yeah.
I did have a ball. We danced at the Chicks, and there was something about it. Like, you just feel so funny. And then the next morning, we had to be at the state fair for the broadcast, and we were playing the Chicks and Go-Go, and me and my mom were dancing. And Justin comes up from the basement, and he has his he goes, "Why did I bring this?" He finds his cowboy hat, and he starts doing that, like, hunched over kind of dance, like that those line dancers do. It was hot. Yeah. It was sexy. I was like, well,
wow, look at you guys. Hey, I'm not, whatever your kink is, that's fine.
Yeah, great. What do you mean hunched over dancing?
Like, they do that, like, bad posture.
Like, yeah, like, you can think of some guy, like, doing a knee slapper kind of.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Like it's like almost like their back is kind of bent, and they're like, boot, scoot, and boogie.
Yeah, I got to be honest with you. If there's any proof there is no God, it's got to be dancing. If there was a God, he or she would ban dancing forever.
That's like the opposite of what 90% of the world thinks.
Oh my God, Footloose! Sorry, I didn't realize some of us want to have fun.
Oh God. Well, if that's your fun, you got a hell of a life. I'll tell you that.
Tommy, I agree with you 100%. But then I'm sitting here like thinking, I do know that dancing does bring joy to a lot of people.
Catherine loves to dance. Catherine loves dancing.
It's just my own insecurity. I can't do it.
We dance constantly at our house, especially with Go-Go, because she's really currently into, like, the Jersey Shore fist pump when she's dancing. So, like, that's now the move.
One tip off as we move forward, and I'll be very brief with this. Back in the day, we were talking about Kenny Sherman and Hawk and Animal, and there were all of us. We'd go out and watching guys who are 6'4", weigh about 300 pounds, and it's all muscle dance. You will never want to dance again. I'm just here to tell you.
I'll want to always dance again.
No, you would not want to dance again.
You'd be surprised in my 20s if a guy could come out and dance, especially when I was in San Antonio. Yeah. Like, next thing I know, I'm like, yep. You're coming home with me. Like, I don't know why. There's something about it that's just so fun. I think, Chris, you're onto something. The lack, like that confidence, that, like, putting aside how probably silly they look, where you're like, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Like, in the 20s when I was, if I'd be drinks in and we'd be out, and I was Mr. Dance Machine, because really, let's be honest, dancing is like the closest thing you're getting to sex at that point.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And so, yeah, like, for sure, I was all about it then because there was an end game. Now there's not an end game.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right. And I will say this, by the way, picture all the people I just mentioned, and then picture in your mind watching Herman Munster dance, because that's what it looked like. Stamping their feet.
I love it.
Yeah, that's great.
That is very
true,
funny.
though. It is. They were, honest to God, they were so muscle bound they couldn't move, and they were trying to dance, and it was hideous. I will tell you that.
I love it.
I love it.
Okay, it works.
We love it in chorus.
Mm-hmm.
No, Catherine's a really good dancer, actually, and Alex has studied dance her whole life. Fawny is a big dancer. A lot of dancing in my family.
But you still want it outlawed.
Yes. Get rid of. Just for me.
Oh, okay.
Everybody else can dance, just for me. It's not my deal.
Yep, I hear you.
No question. So what else? What time do you have to be out by, Pally?
I gotta go now.
That's what I thought. That's why I want to make. All I ever do is honor the rules that you put in place.
Yeah, Tom. I have a lot of very strict rules. You're right about that.
All right, pal. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Good luck dancing.
Okay. Yeah, thanks, you guys. Have a good rest of your morning.
Did you just say good luck dancing?
Yeah, he's doing Zumba today.
Yeah, also, who's the segment producer that thought it'd be a good idea to have the guy with one leg dance live
Exactly,
on TV?
but I didn't bring it up.
Jesus.
You're absolutely right. Let's get the one-legged man to dance.
Boot, scoot, and boogie.
Hey, one-arm guy, I brought this flamenco guitar.
Yeah, you play this.
Sit down and strum a couple of ditties for us.
You know what? There used to be a guy, I think he's dead now, but he had no right arm. He played the guitar with his left hand and his teeth.
Oh, yeah.
You've seen the guy?
Yeah, I've seen those guys.
Oh,
yeah,
my
absolutely.
God. And I'm telling you, it's like, what are you, Jimi Hendrix, for Christ's sake?
There was a guy that was on ESPN a few years back. He lives down in Bloomington, but he's a one-armed golfer.
Mm-hmm.
Destroys.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing.
Oh, I know.
So
But
good.
does he anchor?
Does he anchor? Oh, you mean like a foursome, you mean?
No, like
No, like the news.
Oh.
like they outlawed all these things about putting the putter on your chin because it's an anchor point.
Oh, yeah, you
Oh,
can't do
gotcha.
that.
And so I wonder if the one-arm guy, I mean, you'd assume he has to anchor, right, on some things. Maybe he doesn't.
No, I mean, he literally just takes his arm and he swings it around like a windmill.
It's amazing.
And then, and
That's so impressive.
it's incredibly straight. And I mean, we were on hole 7 at Highland and he was golfing behind us. And we were just getting on to hole 8. He was on 7. And it's only, 140 yards to the pin. But he must have taken his pitching wedge and just swung his arm like a windmill and came within like 6 feet of the pin.
Dang-a-lang. Never mind. I was thinking at least he'd have to anchor on something, but no. Dang.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Press
By the way, ladies and gentlemen, news brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh for your free 48-minute financial evaluation. Josh Arnold bringing you Chris Egert, who's out dancing at the fair today, so go laugh at him because he'll really suck.
He'll honestly, his awkwardness is so beautiful. I love that guy.
He's a great guy.
He's so awkward sometimes and insecure, but also doesn't care. And it's like the perfect combination of an anchor.
No question about it.
It's like Don Shelby brought his grandson to work day and then didn't take him home. Chris just got stuck doing the news.
Exactly right.
Oh, yeah, they got him. I told you, I'm still mad. They need a cardboard cutout of him at the fair. He's got a table with his face on it and a wall with his face on it, but we need to get Hubbard next year to get him a cardboard cutout because we could steal it.
You talking about Chris or Don Shelby now?
Chris and Don Shelby. I need both.
Isn't Shelby the greatest to hang out with?
He's the
He's
greatest.
just a great guy. Really nice man. No question, ladies and gentlemen. I just saw a headline, and I don't want to read the story, but wouldn't you know this just by knowing a little bit about physics? Pointing your window blinds up keeps your place cooler. Well, how would you not know that?
Pointing them up, so like, what is that?
Okay, you know how they angle down?
Yeah.
So you angle them up.
Yeah, so the sun.
So
is-
where's the sun? If you got him aiming down, where's the sun? It's above there. It's going to go straight down through the window and heat up your floor like a sumbitch.
Yeah.
But if you aim it up, it just reflects back off and goes.
That makes
I mean,
sense.
why is that even a national story? How would you not know that?
I don't think most people would know that.
Really?
No, I don't
But
think
look at the
so.
physics of it.
No, I mean, obviously it makes sense when you read it and you go, oh, I guess I never thought about that. But I guarantee most people would not know it.
Well, let me see if they might not even include that in the story. I don't know, but it's logical. This would have been nice to know a little earlier in the summer. Well,
Yeah.
again, it's like you
Should
knew that when
know.
you were a little kid.
Yeah.
A guy on TikTok is going viral after claiming you can keep your home cooler by pointing your windows blinds up instead of down. We're talking about the ones with horizontal slats and a little rod you spin to adjust them. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Most people think they look better pointed down, but pointing them up can supposedly make a room up to 8 degrees cooler. Yes.
8 degrees. I didn't see
Because
that.
the sun doesn't get right into the room. It deflects. Any of the sun, it has to deflect up in the ceiling and then back down again. So therefore, it loses all its power.
I think we're giving a lot of credit to 8 degrees. I think it depends on the size of the room, the size of the windows.
That's true.
Like,
I bet you're true about that. You're right about that. It's less. It lets in less sunlight and also bounces those UV rays up toward the ceiling. They do bring that up in here. That's good. Or down toward the ground where they would warm the room more. So yeah, it's very logical. That's something I thought that everybody knew. We found a few sites that back it up. He says he doesn't say where he got the 8 degrees part. Well, see, there you go.
Yeah.
I think he made that part
yeah,
up.
that
yes.
seems aggressive. 8
Yes.
degree different.
He claims he tested it, and it did change the temperature by almost that much. Try it and see if it makes a difference. Then as we move into winter, point them down again to keep your place. Yes, you'll point them down in the winter because it keeps your house warmer.
I never changed them.
Except in Minnesota where the sun's never out in the winter, so
right?
it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
God, it gets cloudy here in the winter.
I know. Every
Very
time in the
dark.
winter, I have like a 1 week period where I go, should I be on antidepressants? And I go, oh no, it's just been dark for a full week.
Oh man, it gets dark and gets that dead of winter thing in January and February. Oh my God,
It's rough.
it is indeed. There's no question about that. Would you guys ever answer? The reason I'm asking you this question because I did 2 weeks ago and it was a huge mistake. 20% of Americans still answer calls from unknown numbers. See, I usually do not ever.
Never.
But for some reason, I answered. There was a phone number that appeared. I didn't recognize, and I don't know why I answered it. And I answered it, and all the guy did was piss and moan and bitch about things the whole time.
Really?
Yeah, I'm like, well, never
Did
again.
you know him?
I know of him.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but it's just like, yeah, don't ever answer the phone if you don't recognize the number.
No, I won't. There's times where I like look at it, and I'll have that question. But if it's important, they'll leave a message, and I always will then listen to the message.
Me
and
too.
Call back or whatever. But yeah, it's just always, it's always these scams. It's all the time trying to, these robot calls, these this whatever, and then also, if they do call, you're not supposed to like if you sometimes don't know the number too, you can just answer and listen to the nothing and see what that sounds like.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times you can tell if it's like a robot call or a scam. But yeah, no, I have no interest. And you don't want to cue them off that that's a working number, because then they'll add it to its list of this is the number that answers. So yeah.
Yeah, you do not want to answer calls unless you know who it is. Because if it is somebody that needs something, they'll leave a message, like Brittany said, and then you listen to the message.
Yeah. That's the way to go.
And I still love the fact these email messages you get on Gmail and Hotmail.
Yeah.
They start out in English and about halfway through turn to like Chinese or Russian.
Yeah.
Like, can't you make a better effort than that?
There are so many scams going on too. You have to be careful when you're looking at renting listings. Some of those are fake. They'll just take a whole copy of the listing and make it themselves, and then they'll ask you to fill out a form of your information for a background check, and that's fake. Like, there's so many weird things going on.
I could understand that. So, yes, 20% of Americans still answer calls from unknown numbers. Don't do that. That's not a good idea.
Don't do it.
Because, first of all, it'll just waste your... And again, if it's important, they'll leave a message, as Brittany said, and you can listen to the message. You'll be fine. You're good to go.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Don't answer it. Just don't. I know it's tempting, because sometimes if you're like, this number kind of looks familiar... They have so many ways to get coded where they have the same zip or area code and things like that. Just don't answer it.
Did you guys happen to watch 60 Minutes over the weekend?
No, what was it on?
It was on scams, just like this.
Oh, was it really?
Oh, really?
One of the things they talked about was, I know we've brought it up with this AI and people being able to mimic other people's voices. So there was a woman who was being interviewed about AI and about scams, and they had the reporter. And while they took like a 10, 15-minute break, the reporter and the woman being interviewed went into the other room and said, we're going to pull one over on your assistant. Watch. So they call the assistant from the reporter's phone number. And she's like, and says something like, hey, sorry, we had to run outside real quick. We're trying to get something set up. I don't have this on my phone. Can you log into my email real quick? And I don't have my well-known travelers, my TSA number. God. Can you grab that? And the assistant's like, yeah, no problem. And then she brings it up and then gives it to her. And then they come back and they go, by the way, this was AI's voice. This was somebody who was calling from a number that wasn't hers, that was put through a machine, but it brings it up on your phone. The caller ID comes from her exact number. So even when you're doing an interview about being scammed, you're still likely to be scammed.
Especially if, you've got people micromanaging your information.
Yeah.
You're a well-known, I saw that, you're a well-known anchor and you have all, thousands and thousands of hours of your voice recorded. Mm-hmm. Like, that was a wild one, because she was young, too. The assistant was some 30-something-year-old, and it's like, oh, dang.
I don't know. Couldn't they have prevented all this?
How?
By not allowing people to do the things they do, by having safeguards in place, or can they not do that?
I feel like they can prevent all of this, but choose not to, for whatever reason. Yeah.
I don't get it.
Because, okay, this is a really extreme example, but, like, technology, and this is the way I always look at it. So when we did convoys, they used to have these IEDs that would explode right when they would see a truck. Like, we had a sensor that had the truck would go by, and then the IED would explode.
Oh, okay.
And then so we were like, okay, let's put a heat sensor on a giant rod out front so it'll explode before us.
Don't ever do that again. You just went, a giant rod. Mm-hmm. He's called me a big prick.
And so they would put that, giant heat sensor on a big rod out in front, 30 feet in front, 20 feet in front. It would cause the ID to explode before the truck would come. So then they would pivot and do like a timed thing. And it was like no matter what we did, there was pivoting every time. And so I always look at that similarly, like whatever we do to protect, that's technology that they will eventually use against us. Like it's just there's too many people out there that have access to too many things, and it's all free knowledge online. And it's like there's always pivoting. It seems as soon as you go, well, we've got this figured out. Okay, well, what about using this way? It just seems impossible.
They could have prevented all of this, and they just didn't bother.
How?
And I don't know why. Well, I mean, you can safeguard anything. It doesn't matter what it is. Telephones can be safeguarded. All that stuff can be, any digital thing can be safeguarded.
But with that same technology to safeguard, couldn't you use it against them?
Against who?
Against let's say you have safeguard technology on your phone. Couldn't the criminal then use that technology against you?
Well, they would just be blocked out so they'd never get a hold of you.
Maybe. Is there a way that you can set it up on your phone? I don't know this, but I'm a big believer in, hey, take a little bit of initiative for yourself. If you are tired of all these goddamn calls coming in, is there a way you can set up your phone where you go, these are the top 15 numbers that call me all the time.
Yeah.
Right,
Whenever they call, put it through.
Yeah.
Everybody else goes to voicemail.
You can, yes.
Couldn't agree more.
So you can set your phone, you literally have a list of people, and you can put your phone on focus or sleep mode or whatever, but only those calls will get through.
Gotcha. Okay.
I just set this up on my friend's phone because she is a dental hygienist.
Yeah.
And she's like, I just want my watch to only vibrate if my daughter or my mom is calling. And so we set it up where now, because I always have my stuff on Do Not Disturb during the show, and the only thing that would come through is if my husband calls twice. My husband calls twice, it'll all light up because then something is so big that I want. But you can set it up where if they call once or they text, you'll see all of it. But otherwise, it won't come through.
Good to know.
See, I got 7 calls yesterday because I hardly ever answer my phone.
Dang.
There's a Zoom meeting that I was on yesterday. Sirius XM called me. They've been trying to get me to join Sirius XM for about 45 years now. Mike Bilski called me. Pat Eberts called me. Amy Daniels called me. Walgreens called me. And my son Andy called me. So those are all the calls I got yesterday. I know every one of them.
Yeah.
So if you don't answer your phone constantly, they eventually will just give up.
Yeah, I think so. I think they'll be, they can write that as that phone number's dead or whatever. But if you answer, they're going to put it as this is an active phone number, and they're going to keep using it.
No, there's no question about that.
And they sell it to each other and sell it to whoever.
No, I used to have Sirius XM a couple of years ago. That's why they keep reaching out to me whenever they have a special deal.
Yeah.
Doesn't Sirius they have a lot of special deals, don't they?
Yeah, I think that's their whole thing, right? It's like, yeah, we have a 50% off joining fee this week. It's like Lifetime does that too. Like, oh yeah, today this is this deal, and this is this. There's always a new deal.
Well, other than Howard Stern, does anything ever work on XM, Sirius XM?
Like successfully, you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, is it successful? It must be successful. It's been around forever.
Yeah, I guess it kind of. I mean, it's so niche-y that they have probably 4 or 5 different stations that will cater to whatever your musical needs are. I mean, they have one channel that's just Pearl Jam.
Oh, really?
That's all it is. It's 24 hours of Pearl Jam, and it's bootlegs, and it's live, and it's interviews, and so if you're super into Pearl Jam, I totally get it.
That's where you need to go.
Yeah.
I think Alex used to listen to the Frank Sinatra channel on Sirius.
Sure.
There you go.
So. Yeah, I had Sirius for about 6 months, and I finally could repeat every joke back to Raw Dog and decided I got to move on.
Yeah.
That thing is dreadful.
Well, yeah, unfortunately, it is programmed by people that are not comedians.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. So they basically, but they treat comedy like they do hit songs.
Yeah.
And you can't do it that way.
No, in and out, and not getting the whole thing, just getting like a weird little spot of it.
Well, then they also, if you have say Larry the Cable Guy has a big joke and it's online and it's going viral, well then they plug it in once every hour and a half on Raw Dog, and you're like, I've heard this, man. Like,
It's really bad.
Yeah, I mean, there is something to be said to just jump on any there's something there. They're just missing how to do it, the execution, because it wouldn't be a bad idea to just be able to, jump on and hear stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
But
well, that's why I did it. Actually,
yeah.
started listening. I thought, oh, this would be great.
Yeah, but there's something that they're not. You're right. Like it has to, Rudy. They need like stand-up comedians to be putting the sets together.
I would agree, but yeah, I have not had Sirius XM in several years now, and I don't know, whatever. Spent a lot of money on Howard. I know that.
Yeah, they do.
So hopefully they made it back. I assume they did, but who the hell knows, right?
I do think Rudy's right. It's all niche markets, but
Yeah, I think it is. I think you're absolutely right about that. We got to take a break. Be right back in a couple minutes. This is Tom Barnard for Power Lodge and Miller Marine. Attention all power sports enthusiasts. This August, we invite you to celebrate with Power Lodge as we hit a major milestone. 25 years of bringing action and excitement to Minnesota as your go-to destination for all things marine and power sports. To say thank you, each of our locations will host a local community appreciation day. Join us in Brainerd, Ramsey, Onamia, or Sauk Rapids as we roll out the red carpet with delicious food, amazing prizes, fantastic giveaways, and unbeatable special pricing. As the grand prizes, we'll be raffling off a variety of Polaris ATVs and snowmobiles. Check out powerlodge.com for event dates nearest you, and that's not all. Throughout August, we've got something special planned. Follow us on social media as we unveil 25 days of deals on the latest off-road and on-road vehicles, boats, and supplies from the top brands in power sports. That's right, 25 days of back-to-back incredible offers. You won't want to miss this. So mark your calendars and get in on the action during our 25th anniversary Power Lodge, where your adventure with throttle therapy begins.
The new Tom Barnard Morning Show is proud to have partners like Bradshaw and Bryant, MyPillow, and North American Banking Company founder, chairman, and president, Mike Bilski.
I've advertised on Tom's show for years, and the reason is simple. My business is recognized because of the ads, and that recognition has created growth. What business doesn't want to grow? I highly recommend the Tom Barnard Morning Show for your advertising.
Grow results for your business by partnering with the Tom Barnard Morning Show. Visit TomBarnardShow.com, keyword partner.
Hello, I'm Brad Huckle, president at North American Banking Company.
And I'm Mike Bilski, CEO at North American Banking Company.
As a community bank based right here in the Twin Cities, we believe in taking the time to get to know our customers and their businesses.
And part of that is hiring and cultivating a team of experienced lenders. When your business banks with us, you're not training in a new, inexperienced banker.
In fact, our bankers have worked with many of the same customers for years, earning their trust. We get to know you and your business, and you get to know and rely upon us.
When your business is looking to capitalize on an opportunity or solve a problem, we'll be here to help you.
Tom here. I know Brad and Mike, and I trust that with my banking, they've personally delivered on everything they've just said. So why not bank with my banker, North American Banking Company, a better banking experience, member FDIC, an equal housing lender. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. What do you think of that action? I'm so happy to welcome back our longtime friend Sabre Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning to the show. I've known Steve, the owner, for many years. I completely trust Sabre to keep my house comfortable. Why? Sabre does everything the right way, and they always put the customer first. I love the team at Sabre because their service experts are experienced NATE certified technicians. They're not salespeople. Their pricing is completely upfront, and they fix only what needs to be fixed, nothing more. Sabre's dedicated to giving customers what they need, when they need it, and at the fair price. Keeping your family safe and comfortable without breaking the bank, give Sabre Heating and Air Conditioning a try. I know they'll take care of you just like they've taken care of me and my family. Whether you need a new Bryant furnace or air conditioner replaced or just simply need a service call to get you going again, go to saberheating.com. That's SABRE heating.com. Sabre and Bryant, whatever it takes. We are back 8:51 now. It's 9 minutes till 9 o'clock. Weather, mostly sunny and warm today with a high of 80. A beautiful day today. Tomorrow, breezy and warmer with a high of 85. Then on Friday, mostly sunny with a high of 90. On Saturday, mostly sunny and hot with a high of 94. On Sunday, 96. On Labor Day, 96. And then it drops all the way down to 91 next Tuesday. So it's going to be 80 today, 85 tomorrow, and then it's 90, 94, 96, 96, 91. Little toasty.
Going to the fair tomorrow.
All right, no, why tomorrow? Oh, wait a minute, I got to tell you. Mostly sunny and 62 right now. Anyway, so you're going to the fair tomorrow.
Going to the fair tomorrow, 85. I think it's doable, right? I'm going after the show, bringing my friend Eric. We go every year. We didn't go last year because the baby was born. I got a lot of grief for that. But me and Eric make our rounds. he has his like favorite places he wants to go. 85, and hopefully it was not going to be too busy on Thursday. What do you think?
No, they're setting records this year apparently.
Yeah, I just look at the attendance.
You know, I was out there on, what night was that? Monday night? I ran out there real quick Monday night just to pick up my daughter. I only spent about a half hour. It was 5:15, I think, when I arrived.
You got out of your car?
Yeah, well, I went to Hubbard, got on the shuttle, and then went into the fair. The reason why I went is because Indeed Brewing puts out a specific fair beer every year, and I haven't had it in the last 2 or 3 years because I haven't gone, so I thought I'll try it. They put out what is called Biramasu. Delicious.
Was it really good?
Really good. So yeah, I walked around for like a half hour. Not as insanely busy as I thought it was going to be.
Really?
Still a lot of people, but not like it seems like when you get there at that 2 o'clock in the afternoon, high sun, it is brutal.
No doubt about it. Well, I'll tell you what, when we were out there on Saturday, it was packed. When we left,
it was insane.
You couldn't even move.
Yeah.
It was just packed.
Yeah, that was insane. And we didn't even beat a record on Saturday.
No.
We were still 10,000 short of a record from 2018. The only day that's hit a record is Friday. It was 164,000. But yeah, these last couple days, they've come close. Monday was 134, and the record was still 10,000 away. But yeah, I'm hoping it's a chill day.
So we had 212 on Saturday, 212,000.
Yeah.
So was Saturday always the biggest number?
I think so.
Probably.
Yeah, that would make sense because people have to work, and then the one that always is the biggest is the Saturday before the end of the fair.
So it's this Saturday.
Yeah, this coming Saturday has a record on 2018, 270,000 people.
Holy God.
So almost 270, and then it's 520 or 426. So almost, 270,000 people.
So basically about 60,000 more than were there last Saturday.
Yeah.
And you couldn't move.
Correct.
Then there are going to be 60,000 more people? Woo!
Zooey mama. Who's on Saturday on the grandstand?
I don't know.
I have no idea. I know Duran's tomorrow night, right? Mm-hmm. Mo definitely haven't heard back from them yet.
Nope.
Well, so that ain't going to happen. So there you go.
Next Saturday. Well.
What you mean this Saturday?
This Saturday. Mm-hmm. On Friday's Jonas Brothers. And Saturday it's the Hold Steady with special guest Bob Mould Band.
Oh, Bob Mould, Minneapolis
and
musician.
Dillinger 4. Yeah, this is all. I was like, oh, these aren't as big names as I thought.
Well, yeah, because that's every year the Current gets a one night at the fair, and they always bring in some niche-y
Which
kitsch.
is, I'm sure, great. I just was
absolutely.
expecting a really big name because this, you just see all these like Duran is Thursday, Saturday, Friday's Jonas Brothers. It just threw me off a little.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'll happen. When are they going to change the name of that radio station, or did they already?
The Current?
Yeah.
What do you want them to change it to?
Well, they just need to change it because they had a British announcer that worked there. And try saying the word current in a British accent.
Oh, yeah, no. What was that guy's name? Mark?
Yeah, I think it was Mark.
Mark somebody. Mark something. He used to always do the Maury's Automotive. It was that guy, right? Wasn't that him?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I sold him and his wife shoes many times, and I cannot remember his name.
I don't want you to say it loudly, but say the word current in your head with a British accent. It ain't going to work. I'm here to tell you.
It's the Current.
The Current. You're getting close.
I'm adding a little bit of an R in there.
Yes, you are. Because when I used to hear him say it on the air, there was no R.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that flat out. Don't pretend you know what you're doing over there at Pittman.
Mm-hmm.
It is like getting into that computer is pretty much you have to be an expert.
Look at him sitting over there. I know what I'm doing. I got it.
I have the password written down, but Hubbard was like, listen, we're really concerned about the safety of this computer for no reason. There's nothing on there.
Yeah, way to go, Tevin.
They put the most elaborate password on that computer.
Yeah, I get, like, let's make sure everything's secure, but you have to go through a lot of hoops to get even into the studio, and then
even NASA's like, okay, we get it.
Yeah, and then like there's not anything on this computer that's like there's no state secrets that are gonna like you're not hacking into Hubbard from this laptop.
You know, NASA sometimes their password's NASA 1, NASA 2.
Password.
This is not that computer. It's funny because Officer Dave has to do it too, and he'll all start sweating, and I'm like, it's okay, you got this. Like, you can sign on to this computer.
Yeah, they call it hunt and peck. With him, it's hunt and stomp.
Yeah, it's and he goes, I'm not so great with computers. I was like, here's the password, you just have to put it in, and you just see him start sweating profusely.
Okay. Well, especially in today's era where like your face or your finger will log you into any device that you own, and now I have to go back and like type in this archaic password. But yeah, we made it. We're here.
Did you call your mother and tell her yet that you're going to be a big shot for like 3 days?
Oh my gosh, I've not been telling everybody, but like after we got off the phone, I was like, guys, I don't want to say that this is like I'll remember you when I'm famous moment, but you guys like, I have my own dressing room now, like so
you're a big deal.
Yep.
So you know who the other the host is because you're on Friday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Correct.
Right. You know who's on Thursday and Friday next week?
Who?
Don Shelby.
Okay.
So you and Shelby, shoulder to shoulder.
Shelby.
Big shot.
We rode after the state fair. We rode back from, like, on the shuttle together. Just me and him. So we had a nice little conversation. And I didn't realize, like, he's been through a lot since he's retired. And,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I was like, oh, my gosh. I was like, I couldn't.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, he's telling me all this stuff. I'm like, I would have had no idea that you went through any of this. So I was like,
We almost lost him at one point.
Yeah, that's what he was saying. I was like,
It's
this is.
true.
He had aphasia where you can know what you're saying, but you can't say it, which is like devastating for somebody like Don Shelby. And he could say things that he had memorized, but not create new sentences. So as long as it was crazy.
Yeah. So if I had aphasia, I couldn't look at you and go, shut your cake hole.
No, but
I couldn't do that.
You could memorize it and then say that.
Yeah, if I memorized
yeah,
it,
like
I could say it.
any of those, like you could say you could do some damage you're not going to walk away from.
Shut up, both of you. Get away from me. There you go. We can say that.
You could say that.
We could say that. That'd be good. But yes, Tevin Pittman, big shot, hosting the show on Friday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
Yep.
Yep.
And then Shelby on Thursday, Friday. What a lineup.
I'm excited to see what you're going to be bringing to the show.
I've already been practicing in the mirror. We've got some. Yeah, we're coming into this professional. Yep.
What are we looking at for segment wise? Like, what should we?
I don't want to give away everything that we're going to be talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah.
It'll be fun. Hopefully, we don't lose all the listeners on those 3 days, and Shelby will at least get them back for you. So
we just need to.
Well, that's why we put him where we put him.
I think we're going to call the show Bigger and Blacker, like the Chris Rock.
Bigger and Blacker, like his comedy special.
I hate to break it to you.
Is that a trademark? Can we not say that?
Probably not.
I was like, we're working on. We're trying to get my name on one of those billboards of you. We're just gonna put my picture up over it.
Yeah, those disappeared about 6 months ago. But other than that,
right.
I'm not Ken Lindell or whatever the hell that guy's name is.
Jeez, with his arms stretched across every bus stop and. Yep.
You know, that's what I love about it, because people tell me, oh, you know, those billboards they got for you, they're very, very expensive. I said, bullshit. That guy's on 500 of them, and he ain't got the Hubbard money.
Yeah, when there's like some like middle class guy out there who's like, I'm looking for a wife. Like, they can't be that expensive, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, that whole scam.
But you do know how insane you sound, right? Like, my billboards weren't up long enough. Like, we're getting.
That's not what I said.
Well, no, but it gets to a point where, like, as a kid, I remember thinking, like, oh, you had to have, like, it's probably $1 million to have
I know.
a billboard. It's like, okay, it's not that. They're not as effective.
And you know the worst part of that? Honest to God, Fawny and Seiji and I are sitting, this is back in, like, April.
Yeah.
Sitting there watching television, all the rest of it. And Fawn goes, Pop, we saw some of your billboards today. I think I like my other aunties better. Because Dan's aunt was on a bunch of billboards and she's on TV spots. So it's like, you're okay, Bop, right. But she's got the answer.
That's when you realize, like, they don't have a sense of reality at all.
Kids will humble you very quickly.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's okay, but it wasn't my aunt. You know, it's one of those deals. But in any case, so are things good?
Yeah, everything's great. I'm very excited. We got football season about to be coming up.
Going to the game with Bilski, as a matter of fact. The opener, Catherine. So I get the call from Bilski yesterday. Mm-hmm. Are you available on Sunday to go to the the opener, the Vikings opener? What is that, on the 10th?
Oh my God, that's so cool that he has you there and they're going to that.
But listen,
I'm going to the game as well.
But here's the problem.
Huh.
I said, okay, so basically, can you go to the game on the 10th? We're going to blah, 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 we're going to do this, we're going to do that. I said, okay, but I got to ask you the question. I'm assuming that Catherine's invited. He goes, well, yeah, she is, but you're not.
Oh,
I was just, they invite
thanks,
Catherine.
Mike.
That's their way of inviting you.
Exactly.
yeah,
right.
that's the way they'll know she'll show up. But yeah, that'll be fun. Bilski's had me in his
Bilski's phenomenal.
suite twice. I had a blast.
I don't like the words Bilski and sweet put together.
He is a sweet
oh,
guy.
he's such a sweet man.
And he always goes like, "Did you get any of those cookies?" There's like 4,000 cookies. I was like, I have like 5 in my purse. Little does he know. I'm like,
it.
yeah, I think I saw them.
Josh Arnold had that going in the twin suite last night.
Oh hell! And
I
you
was
didn't
just saying, I
eat
saw you were at the
anything.
game. Did they win? I didn't see the
Oh,
fight.
don't get me started.
Don't talk to me ever
You know what?
again.
You're supposed to host, and you don't even come in with those hot questions.
Well, why don't we do this? Why don't we go to the professional Judd Zulgad, who knows if the Twins won or not?
The professional might be stretching it, Tom Barnard, but they did not win. They did not win because they're intent on driving you in particular absolutely crazy.
You're right.
Since we got Judd here, does anybody want to take a guess on how much a 4-week campaign on a billboard costs? The U.S. average.
4 weeks, and not the digital ones.
Not the digital. 4 weeks.
4 weeks.
But that depends on if you're in the business or not, because I know people in radio, television, and they get special deals.
This is average.
Yes.
The
So this
average
would be
cost. Average, yep.
Probably higher than I thought.
I'm gonna say 10,000.
Okay.
For how
That's what I
long?
was gonna say.
4 weeks. 4 weeks.
Oh, it's 4 weeks.
4 weeks. The average, yep.
Per one?
Just one billboard, say
For 4
35W, right where it meets up with Highway 10 up in Lino Lakes. You get 4 weeks. How much would it cost?
I would not give them more than $1,500.
Okay. Tevin?
I was gonna say 10,000, but I'll say $9,999, Bob.
Good answer. Even though that you technically Price is Right means you'll literally have $1 of a buffer.
Well, I don't know how the game works, but rest in peace, Bob.
Judd, what do you got?
2023, I think they've probably not worth nearly as much as they used to be. I'm going to say a couple thousand.
Couple thousand. Tom, you were the closest when you said 1,500. It is $850
For 4 weeks.
For
What?
4 weeks.
I'm getting a billboard immediately.
I'm gonna put up so many billboards.
Myself by the end of the day, just for S and giggles.
Oh my goodness! Yeah,
I was gonna put one on the way to you coming into work on Tuesday or Friday when you're hosting. Goes, you ain't shit. You ain't got
And
this.
by the way, I knew
Tevin
I
just
was too
flicking
high.
off the crowd.
Yeah.
I knew I was too high, but I said I'll just go with a higher number because billboards. Well, first of all, I'm not going to say who it is. I wouldn't do that, but there's one of the billboard companies in town that's $17 billion in debt. So you could probably get it for about $5 a month now.
Just walk their dogs for them or something.
When you guys see a string of Tevin Pittman billboards all over town, just mind your business.
He'll be hosting.
Mind your business.
Just like very specific. Tevin, don't forget to pick up your laundry at the
It's
laundromat
just
today.
notes to myself.
Yeah.
And if you buy a bunch, it's going to be like $10.
A lot
Yeah.
less.
Yeah.
A lot less.
All
So
right.
like I would guess that Chris Lindahl's bill, because he buys so many billboards,
Yeah.
is actually not that bad at all.
No, not bad at all.
Bradshaw Bryant, he's got his share too, man.
Oh, up in St. Cloud.
Yeah, when I drive home from Bemidji,
Oh,
or when
yeah.
we drive back
Yep.
here, I'm like, oh my gosh, Michael, take a break. And then all of a sudden pictures, I'm like, we get it, Michael.
Yeah.
God, I remember Chris used to advertise on my podcast and on the morning show.
Yeah.
That lasted about 3 weeks.
Why?
Because I said, what is his deal?
What is his deal?
I don't get the arms out thing. What is that?
Yeah, I don't
know.
get
It's
it
just
either.
his thing. I don't know.
I mean, good, God bless him. I'm not saying he's a pain in the ass or anything. He's probably not my kind of guy, but I don't understand. What's the arms out thing supposed to
He
be?
just needed a thing, and
It's- yeah, it's-
was
it's
already
to get-
taken. The arm.
Yeah,
The
it's to get
Arsenio?
people like us to talk about
Oh,
it.
yeah. You think that's what it is?
He needed a
Probably.
thing.
I mean, I like billboards. You drive along, you get in a car accident because you're looking at a billboard. That's a great idea.
And I guess what other pose as a realtor are you going to do
That's true.
on your billboard?
Open a door, like
Right,
arm
like-
stretch.
Yeah.
Come in your home.
Remember what they used to do back in like the 90s, the 80s and 90s with billboards? Some disc jockey was getting his ass kicked on morning radio, always climbed to the top of a billboard. I'm not coming down till we're number one.
Oh
You're
my
like, oh,
God.
God.
Could you even imagine if somebody, like a program director, is like, hey, Tom, we got this great idea. You're going to climb up there. I mean,
Yeah.
That would be.
You know what my response would be?
What would it be, Thomas?
Remember when you used to work here?
There was a guy who was like very higher up in the last building you were at, Tom, who asked the 93X Half-Ass Morning Show, "Hey, you know what? We want you guys to go out and get arrested. We want you guys to get arrested, and then when you make the paper, they're going to interview me, and I'm going to say, I can't control these guys. I don't know."
God.
And Nick and Josh are like, "Are you insane? Like, dude, we're in our 40s. I have kids.
Yeah.
Like, what? I'm not going to get arrested for my job. What are you, nuts?"
Was that guy, just that
Hansen?
asshole?
Yeah, I think his name was... Ironically, I think it was Chris Hansen. Oh, Troy Hansen. That's what his name was.
Hansen, I don't think you mean he was a national guy?
Yeah,
he's
national guy.
Chicago,
Yeah, he was
yeah.
Chicago, yeah.
What did you want him to do exactly to get
No
apprehended
idea.
is
Don't
my
know.
question.
Yeah, some bit that they were going to do on air. That guy actually tried to hire me down in Atlanta, and he said, "How about this? How about you come to Atlanta, and you'll do nights, and you'll make $32,000 a year." And I was like, "Nah, I don't think so, man." And he goes, No, you don't get it. You're going to voice track places like Houston and Dallas. You might even voice track Minneapolis. I said, "Well, then why don't you just keep me in Minneapolis,
there
and
you
I'll
go.
voice track Atlanta?" And he goes, "It doesn't work that way." And I said, "Well, keep your job. I make more money selling couches."
There it is, ladies and gentlemen, right there. That's radio for you, and it's getting worse by the day. So good for you people in that business.
And that's
Voice tracking, man. Voice tracking stripped away the absolute fun of guys and gals playing songs.
Not for
As a
me.
youngster, I would record them on my boombox on a tape. All of that gone.
No, because KQ paid me minimum wage to pretty much watch the building overnight while everything else got voice tracked. So I had a job. I was also security.
Whose idea was that?
I walked around the building every hour. I also watered some plants. I had job security, Judd. And if 93X went down or Love 105, I pretended like I knew what buttons to push out of panic when it would all of a sudden be flashing.
Whose idea was to have you do that?
It was just the overnight job. That was the job I had forever.
But whose idea was that job? Why would you need that?
No, this is, I don't know. It's just, we get the morning show already, all the
That's what
commercials.
screwed it up so badly.
I knew there was a reason.
I'd wake up, I'd get a text at like, I'd be asleep at like 8 a.m. All of a sudden they'd be like, I'd get a text from Scott that was like, "You forgot to put in one commercial." I'd be like,
"Yeah, way to go."
I'd be like, "Well, I'm sleeping, so
it's a live read." I thought.
Yeah, you and Scott got along really well. I remember that.
Scott. Yeah.
You and everybody got along really well. I remember
He was not a very nice guy to me, but I don't hate him.
You know what's so weird about that? People either really like him or can't stand him. It's hilarious.
Well, because he sucked. Oh my God. Okay, he kissed so much ass for people he liked, and then he didn't have any energy left for people he didn't. He would literally.
Hold on a second, Brittany. Really?
Yeah, Scott.
People kissed ass a lot.
So Tom would come and all of a sudden his energy.
I've never seen that before.
Tom would come in the studio and Scott's energy would come up. He'd be all likable and nice, and then he'd get out and he'd literally his whole body would change, and you're like, wow. He would send me emails with the subject line only in it saying "come to office."
I hate people that send emails with just and the message in the subject line.
What is wrong with you? And also the anxiety. I'd be in the middle of the show. I'd get an email from Scott, "come to office." And I would literally come to the office and I'd try to be positive. I'd sit down. He'd go, "No, you don't need to sit." So then I'd be in this weird Well, he was so rude to you if you didn't matter. And that's the kind of person he was.
I feel like if I'm thinking of the correct guy, he always loved me because he had a friend that went to NDSU, and I had this story. So my freshman year, first practice, we're doing a special teams drill, and Lee Vandal, who was this senior, swole cowboy collar, scariest human being I'd ever seen at that time, just absolutely laid me out in practice, feet over my head. I'm on the ground. I thought I was dying.
Yeah.
And that was Scott's BFF or his friend's son, and so he thought that was the greatest that we had this NDSU connection. So it was nice.
I tried so hard with him. I'd even be like, "Oh, you're gonna." I'd learn things about golf from Justin. I'd be like, "Oh, you're gonna go golfing? We're in here." He'd be like, "What? I'm sorry. Did you talk to me?" And I'm like, "No, I'll just throw myself in a grave."
God, really?
Oh God!
You guys had to put up with that, huh?
For a while, I thought I was like, "Does he hate me specifically?" And I found out from other people, I'm like, "No, if he doesn't think you're high enough to give you his energy, he just doesn't."
Well, but there's a strategic like that.
Yeah.
There's a strategic portion of some boss schools, though, that is the come see me thing.
Yes. Yes.
But it never is like, it's no big deal. You know, that would be the best thing. Like, hey, minor thing when your show's done. But there is some weird strategic thought process that if I can sort of scare the employee, it's a very bizarre world. It's partially why there's a lot of adults I absolutely hate.
Yeah.
Because they think they know what they're doing, and it's like, dude, you're like 17 still, okay? So just shut up, tell me what I need to know. There's nothing worse though than the adult who tries to be in control.
Mm-hmm.
That drives me crazy.
Yeah.
Screw you.
Like I need to make an example of just one person so everybody knows how serious I am, and I mean business.
December 14th, 2018 at 9:45 before the morning show ends, from Scott Jameson. Nothing in the subject line, or nothing in the actual email. See me before you leave. Thanks, SJ. That was in the subject line. Nothing at all. And so the anxiety I would have.
Why?
Yeah.
Because you would have something like, hey, don't do this. You've been saying this. We don't want you to say that. And it would be that. And it was like.
Well, so what?
What do you mean, like, so what?
What? Say whatever you want. Tell them to shut up.
See? Some of us can't do that.
So, Tom, you have a different level of job security at KQ than Brittany did, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
I just got a note from our boss, Dan, who said, come see me.
Yeah, baby.
Since you're watching, I'm going to tell you now, that's not going to be possible. I am tied up all morning.
Yeah.
It's the worst. The sweat that will pour out of your body when somebody puts "come see me" in the sun. Not even enough like, "Hey, Britt, no big deal. After the show, will you swing by?" Like.
Yeah. Also, Judd, it's Dan, so he won't be in until September 27th. So you got time, my friend.
Is come see me at my cabin, so I'm going to have to leave now and start driving up north.
You know what's so amazing about that? The different experiences that people have.
Totally.
Because one thing about Hamilton that I did not like, I always liked working with, and Hamilton's the one who hired me.
I loved him.
Except for you did not. This is something you didn't have to put up with.
Correct. Yeah.
This is what you didn't have to put up with. Hey, Tom, I got a great idea. We'll go in here and we'll do this, 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 and this. And then if it blew up or didn't work, it'd be, that was Tom's idea.
Oh, yeah.
Every time.
Yeah, you know, when I was doing afternoons at 93X and ratings were through the goddamn roof, it was everybody in the back giving each other high fives. Oh, we're programming the shit out of this radio station.
Yeah.
Ratings are through the roof. The minute we take a bump, I get called in and they go, you're screwing all of it up. Okay, well, you can't take credit for one and not the other, okay?
It's true.
Yeah.
And they still can't sell it, so what value does it have?
Ugh.
Matter of fact, the last time, what's the PD's name over there again?
Right now, currently?
Yeah.
Derek, I believe is his name.
Derek?
Yeah.
What a prick that guy is.
I've never met him. I don't know him.
Oh.
I'll tell you this about Derek. I'll tell you this about Derek.
Well, he is. He's a prick.
He's got the vibe of a teenager who just found out naked ladies exist.
You know what's so funny about that is I got a friend of mine who works there who said he found a bunch of porn on that guy.
Oh my God! Really?
Oh
Like,
my gosh.
Derek,
Really?
Derek, you go into his room, his office, and he's got like a hot lady poster on the side,
What
and then
a
his
shock.
screensaver is like a hot lady, and you're a lady alone in the room with him. And I'm not saying he's inappropriate at all, but you're like, oh, did you just find out what a boob looks like?
Yeah.
Like, that must be fun for you. Like,
You
you're
know,
in like a dark, his dark office where
In
you're like,
fairness, that was a big day. Britt.
it's exciting.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Remember it vividly.
Trust me,
It was a very important day in young Judd's life when he saw his first boob.
Yeah.
I stopped celebrating my birthday about 10 years ago, but I still celebrate the day I saw a
There
boob.
you go. There you have it. So this guy you were just talking about, the last time I ever saw him, because he never liked me. I guess I was the competition, or he and I just never got along. Well, I didn't get along with James either. Was he RPD?
I never had him as a boss.
Yeah, I don't know. He was a pain in the ass too. Had no idea what he's talking about. But in any case, I'm walking out of the building and that Derek guy's walking in, and he was always kind of like wouldn't even make eye contact with me.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, you're here, huh?" I said, "Yeah." I can ask you a question. You know that equipment that I paid for? How's that working for you? Because every dime that you spent on that came from my show, asshole. So back off.
Yeah, I don't think Derek was, I don't think he's a bad person. I think he's super awkward and, probably was very intimidated by you.
Well, he should be more pleasant to people.
Agreed. Agreed. I always just had the vibe that it was like I was not hot enough to be in his room, his office.
Let me put it this way. He's really lucky I didn't drink when I met him. I will tell you that.
Yeah.
Because that wouldn't have gone over too well. Okay, so I hate most people in radio, but we can move on from there, right?
Yeah, just come see me in my office after the show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like I've ever done that for anybody. Not happening.
Well, because was it...
What office would that be?
Yeah, what office would
I
that
have no idea. That's a great
Where's
question.
your office exactly? The Cub across the street?
That's a great
it's
point.
A caribou.
We have a pop-up tent
Yeah.
in the other room that I just sit in and take emails. So thank you very much. Make a reservation or make an appointment.
Good for all of them. I saw the ratings. You're all doing really well.
Oh, my God.
Okay. I'm sure glad the miserable heat dome is now behind us. Well, unfortunately, it's not because it's going to be 98. So, close enough. Along with the cooler, shorter fall days. Yeah, we're talking fall now. That's what they're referencing. Along with the cooler, shorter fall days, it's one of the best times in Minnesota for landscape plantings. ProTurf did my landscape this spring. Rick had some great ideas for my yard, and they can do the same for yours. A good fall established planting is much more likely to survive a summer drought the following year. A ProTurf certified landscape designer can help you design a landscape that not only looks nice, but will also increase the value of your home. Fall is not only a great time to plant, but also a great time for hardscape patios, walkways, retaining walls, the whole deal. ProTurf is a Minnesota original, family-owned business since 1982, 41 years serving Minnesota. We care for lawns, landscapes, and irrigation systems where we live. If the weeds in your lawn are out of control, fall is the best time to get a head start for next year. Let them put together a 3 to 5 step program that is safe, effective, and guarantees results. If you want the best landscape on the block, ProTurf is ready to give you your free landscape or lawn estimate and analysis. Visit www.professionalturf.com and click estimates for lawn care, landscaping, or schedule an irrigation service visit. There's plenty of thoughts that come into your head when you think the name Killebrew. Of course, there's the Minnesota baseball legend, Harmon, who was responsible for many a favorite memory at the old Met Stadium in Bloomington, and many a baseball that ended up in the stands and in the gloves of adoring fans from his home runs. There's Killebrew Drive, the legendary road that connects Highway 77 to the Mall of America, and a day of shopping you'll never forget. My current thoughts for the name Killebrew is fun floats in our kitchen with my kids and grandkids, a cool, refreshing break in between innings at Target or CHS Field. Or maybe a perfect sunset paired with a sweet, frothy beverage after fishing or on your favorite walleye lake. Killebrew root beer and cream soda. Grab a 6-pack at a grocery or convenience store near you. I'm Tom Bernard. This summer, enjoy the one Killebrew root beer and cream soda.
Your family will love Minnesota-made Killebrew old-fashioned root beer and cream soda. Then cheer on the fun. Take it from me, Ken Herbeck. Killebrew. It's how memories are created and legends are made.
The new Tom Bernard Morning Show is proud to have partners like Bradshaw and Bryant, MyPillow, and North American Banking Company founder, chairman, and president, Mike Bilski.
I've advertised on Tom's show for years, and the reason is simple. My business is recognized because of the ads, and that recognition has created growth. What business doesn't want to grow? I highly recommend the Tom Bernard Morning Show for your advertising.
Grow results for your business by partnering with the Tom Bernard Morning Show. Visit tombernardshow.com, keyword partner.
Hi, this is Tommy B. My friends at Niemeyer Trailer Sales at their Albertville location off Interstate 94 would like to extend a special offer going on now through the Minnesota State Fair. Along with everything you can buy on a stick at the Great Minnesota Sweat Together, you should have some cool incentives with a State Fair deal when you purchase an RV from Niemeyer's Albertville location. How's this sound? Receive a free exterior ceramic coat and NanoCure interior treatment. These coatings provide a durable, long-lasting shield against dirt, water, and UV rays, and basically extend the life of your RV to keep it looking newer and lasting longer. It's a $2,000 value, free with purchase if you get an RV from Niemeyer's by September 5th in Albertville only. Plus great deals on their campers at both Albertville and Elko New Market, now through the end of State Fair. Take your passion on the road with Niemeyer Trailer Sales and see my guys and gals at Niemeyer's and look at what they got at Niemeyers.com. That's Niemeyers.com, Niemeyers.com. Your State Fair deals end on September 5th. Oh, and tell them Tommy sent you. Yeah, so I agree with you guys. Another prick of that Judd is just
Judd's pain in the ass.
Oh, wait a minute, we're back on.
When are you guys going to realize this? How the hell long did it take? I've been a prick for like years.
I've been working on it for
years. X or Twitter or whatever the hell it's called. I mean, I've been like, when are they? I keep going to people and saying, when is Barnard and that crew going to realize I'm a complete prick? Finally,
we're slow learners.
Oh my God.
But once we learn
Somebody
it.
get me a billboard with my face that just says prick across it.
I love that. That'd be huge.
Oh, well, me and
$800.
Kevin, cool. We could afford it.
We could, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, can we all pool together just to get a big picture of my ugly mug that says prick above it and, buy like 5
I
of them?
think you cut a fine figure. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, thank you very much.
I saw you live at the State Fair earlier this week, so I guess it would have
Always
been late last
enjoyable.
week. Yeah, it's always enjoyable, no question about that. You guys go out. How often do you guys go out to the fair?
Well, we used to go out for about 10 years every single day.
I remember you told me that.
We are now down to the one appearance at Carousel Park on Saturdays, which I much prefer. Although I will say, with our company's shuttle situation,
I know it's great.
I'm not going to complain. Now, the one thing, so my fair experience, I'm not sure about you guys, but my fair experience as far as working it was always fantastic. I am not a fair goer, though, so I don't like to walk around.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat there. Actually appearing at the fair back in the day, because when you're the highest rated morning show in America, all the other shows had to do assholeian things to try to distract you. If you were on stage, they would send people over to, just a pain in the ass.
I didn't know that was Pat that did that.
Pat that did what?
They said that Pat Eberts came over and tried to distract you when he worked at a different station.
Well, he was at KWB, yeah.
I didn't know he did that. That's so funny to think about.
Oh, yeah.
What's the story?
I don't even remember what he did because I just totally ignored him.
Like
I want to get a phone call from him now. I just ignore him,
we might have to have him call in and tell us that experience from his point of view.
God.
How can people do that? Like, if you were assigned, that would be my breaking point.
Oh, no, I couldn't.
So, like, if I was at, I don't know, at the time, let's just say KJJO, okay? And they had been like, go over there and wave your arms and yell and try and distract Tom. I'd be like, no, I quit.
Yeah.
Oh.
Did you work in that building? KJJO?
In which one? No.
Oh, you just referenced it.
I just picked an old one for fun. I did not work in that building.
The only reason I asked you that is I drove by it yesterday at 9:50 a.m. It's still in that building.
Really?
Yeah, there's still a radio station in that building. I met the guy that owned it once a long time ago, not quite a while ago, but yeah, that building for years, that's the one where when KQ was just crushing everyone, he sent a moving van over there so they could move all the equipment out because they were going out of business.
Oh, my God.
Hamilton used to love doing stuff. I will tell you, it was fun working with Hamilton. Unless something went wrong, it was your fault.
I love that man. He was so nice and fun.
My only experience with Dave was he was in the mid 90s, a big time rotisserie baseball league with me.
Oh, sure,
yeah. Fun.
And he once thought I had made a trade to dump players to another team. Okay, I'm literally at work. Phone rings, old school phone. Pick up my phone. Hamilton is on the other end, screaming at me.
Yeah.
Just absolutely screaming at me about rotisserie baseball, essentially fantasy baseball. He lost his bleep.
So there's a very bookmark point in his life where he went to anger management, but we always look at the hole in the wall near the door that he swung open and broke the hole. Remember that hole in the wall in the studio? Yep. He used to go off the handle. I mean, never yelled at me, but I'd started after he had done the anger management stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And they'd made it very clear. They're like, so if you ever want a glimpse of old Hamilton, come look at this hole in the wall from this door. And I'm like, oh, my God.
Well, you could talk to Lastman, too. He used to go after Lastman like there was no tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Yeah, he never did that stuff to me. I think he tried once, and you want to keep breathing? I wouldn't do that if I were you. I'm not.
You're probably not the guy to. You're probably not the guy to yell at.
No, don't be yelling at me.
Probably doesn't work out too well.
No, it was a great run for 37 years, man. It was pretty spectacular. And, it is what it is, right?
Yep. Although you did also, to go back in time a bit, Tom, you fended off some very interesting potential competitors really well.
What do you mean, Howard Stern?
I mean, well, Stern's like the textbook one. He literally was driving people to, going crazy in different markets, and you just completely ignored him.
Yep.
And it worked. He went off the air here.
Yeah, he did. That Hamilton had a lot to do with that decision. See, that's one thing about me. If I think you're a prick, I'll tell you you're a prick. But if you did something good, I'll give you credit for it. Tell the truth. I know it's pretty unusual in business, but, no, Hamilton was a big part of that. It's like, Tom, let's just ignore him. I'm like, sounds good to me. And we did, and he just went away.
I was going to say, that's the incredible thing is he disappeared. Like, he didn't just not do well. He disappeared from the market.
But you know what he told me way back when, and it just became so true. He said, the only person you have to ever worry about in radio is the general manager, because they're the ones that can F it up worse than anybody. And does that ever come true? No question about it. We just ignored Howard, and Howard was around. I don't even think he was here a year, was he?
I don't remember exactly how long, but I'm sure he was like that because that was at the time 100.3, right? Which had become hard rock or something like that.
Right.
And yeah, he was here for like a year, but I mean, it was, and that's the point too. To go back in time, he was absolutely crushing places like that.
Yeah.
Were you nervous about it, Tom, when it happened? No.
I never thought he was any good. You have to remember something. I lived in New York before I took that job at KQ. So, and Howard at the time was on WNBC in the afternoon when I first got there. And I listened to him and I'd go, this is all just rehashed bullshit.
Yeah.
None of this is original. I've heard other people say these things, do these things. I never thought Howard was any good. I got to be honest with you.
Well, didn't he come after your family too, and stuff like that while he was here?
He tried doing that. It's like, well, that's a good thing I ignored him on that deal because it just. Somebody told me he doesn't come out of his house anymore.
Yeah, I think he really hunkered down for COVID, and then I saw him talking about it, and he was like, it was like 2022, and he's like, it's been hard for me to break up this routine of really staying in like bunker mode.
Right.
But he ventured out for something, for some event or concert, and he's like, I'm going to try to do this more, but I'm having trouble. I think he was very honest about that.
Yeah.
He's changed a lot too, though.
Oh,
That was such a shock jock time, He was trying, which I've always contended, at least in this market, God bless us, doesn't really work.
Thank God.
Nah, it doesn't work. It doesn't work that great. I'll be honest with you. He is the one guy that never reached out to me. When I did end up leaving KQ and all the rest of it, I heard from Mark and Brian, who were no longer in LA at the time, whatever, Scott Shannon, everybody in Chicago. Everybody in the country called me except for Howard Stern because I was the only guy that ever beat him, I suppose. Maybe that might be why. Who cares, Howard? Calm down. You make $100 million a day. What do you care?
Exactly.
So,
he's done just fine.
People get very weird about God, you don't see him on TV anymore. He's just not around anymore. Is that because he's all hiding out in a bunker?
Yeah, a little bit of COVID. I heard somebody say the other day, and it made me laugh. It was a radio guy who said, I pray to God I never get to a point in my life, in my career, where I look back and I have hours of tapes of me going against everything I stand for now, like Howard Stern.
Yeah,
and I remember it hit me hard. Like, wow, you're totally right. He is a 180 compared to that guy he was back in the late 80s, early 90s.
Oh, if
interesting,
the old Howard Stern personality came on his show, he would have kicked him off so quickly, and that's like a wild thought. Like, you dislike your old personality so much you wouldn't even be able to be on air with them anymore.
And you know where he got the idea to be that shock jock anyway? He was working in Detroit at the time when he decided to change his delivery because he listened to Steve Dahl every day in Detroit. This is before Dahl went to Chicago. Steve Dahl was the one that invented that whole program, and Howard just stole his act and ran with it. That's my opinion, of course, but it's pretty close. Yeah, I mean, he didn't. Steve Dahl was one of the most talented human beings, and by the way, one of the nicest guys I've ever met. He was legendary in Chicago. Well, he was syndicated nationally too. So, but Steve Dahl, he's. I think he's doing a podcast still, I believe. I don't really know, but then he and his partner, I don't know whatever happened there, but they broke up. suppose you get sick of it. Like I'm sick of Tevin, but he's still here for now. You know?
Yeah, the 3 days is going to be my farewell tour.
He's going to be filling in. What are you talking about? You're turning the keys of the entire show to Tevin for 3 days next.
Yeah, but after those 3 days, they lock the door and throw away the key, and I'm out.
And then Shelby shows up and has to bring the revival with Don Shelby.
3 days of just Tevin being a shock jock.
Yeah, I'm going to do my best Howard Stern from back in the day
just
impression.
Offend everybody. Yep. Start in.
It's all true, but hey, I remember as a little kid, because we talked, I personally saying some very negative things about radio, but when I was a little kid, I will never forget how much I thought radio was the most important thing in my life, much more so than television. Because I would listen to these guys talk about this, that, the other thing, whether it was rock jocks or it was the news or it was WCCO or whatever. Man, radio meant the world to me, and that's why I got in it. It was fantastic. WCCO was one of the greatest radio stations in America. People don't even realize that. And, like back when Cannon used to do the morning show over at 1500 KSTP. Those were legendary radio stations, man. And I will never forget when I went to work over there for Chuck Knapp at the time. Jim Chanel was the PD. That station went from 13th to 2nd in 90 days. Think about that.
Really?
They changed the format from an adult talk to a rock station and went from 13th to 2nd in it was nothing, less than 3 months. I will never forget this. Like, holy God.
This is what, 70? Mid-70s?
2, maybe? No, it was about 72,
Okay.
I think. Maybe 73.
Okay.
I could look. I still want to go in that. I know it's not a studio anymore, but I still would like to go in that room when that studio used to be. That was, my God, what a break for me that was. That's one thing I will tell you. I got so lucky at the beginning of my career working with some supreme talent, and I didn't know it at the time. I just thought everybody was like that, right? But I got to work with some phenomenally talented people, Charlie Bush and Chuck Knapp and Steve Hatley and Smokin' Joe, and you go down the list of people. I got very, very lucky starting off with that crew because I learned a ton from them.
And then to think you get to finish out your career working with insanely talented people.
Why? Where am I going next?
Hey-oh.
Thank you very much. Great to be here.
I feel that. I feel like I got so lucky in my career when I got to be on the KQ morning show so early on, or even just doing the overnight.
I fought it.
I know you did. Tooth and nail.
And one prick.
And one prick.
Yes, one prick.
Yeah. I won't say which one. I should say pricks at this point. There's a lot of them. There was a couple.
More than a couple, probably.
But, I think I fell into, just even being forced to just, I had, such a nice ramp where it was, doing the overnights for so long and then doing the phones where I was just listening and just kind of soaking everything in. And then it just, I feel you. Like, you don't even realize how lucky you are until you go somewhere else and you go, oh, my God.
You're right.
Oh, yeah. At the beginning of every football season, I try to listen to, other markets just to hear, because it's fun to hear other teams we're so hopeful for this year.
Yeah.
And you realize, how much, bad local radio there is across the country. And it's we're very blessed here in Minnesota to have such, I think, a strong radio community as well as television as well. We have kind of the same anchors that stay here forever.
Yes.
This news market is, in my opinion, the best news market in America. Television news. It's phenomenal and always has been. I mean, I lived in New York, one of the worst local news cities in America. Everybody on there talks like this all the time. It's time for the news. I was like, oh, God. But yeah, I don't know if people understand that the radio and television in this market, the newspapers, were among the best in the entire nation. Do you think people know that?
No. I don't think people realize that. And I think what Tevin said, I mean, how many people branch out and go listen to it? So no, I don't.
No. And I think they definitely probably appreciate it as they get older when they realize I've been listening to, Tom Barnard for 30 years. I've been seeing the same people on television for the past, 20 years.
Only 30 years?
I don't know.
What about the other 20?
I just threw a number out there. 50
I'm deeply hurt.
First 20, they were in a coma.
Right. Well, that was, what was it?
Listen.
The Cat in the Hat, or what was your...
The Cat in the Hat. Yeah, that's what it was.
Hatter,
Absolutely.
Cat. What was your Catman? There we go.
I still have people...
Wait, isn't that... You're laughing at me as Catman, right?
You're filling in?
About 3 times a year to this day, I could be walking down the street, and all of a sudden I'll hear a guy go, Catman on the radio.
WGUI. Like, I can't even do it.
Oh, God, those were the days. But people still, I mean, that was 50 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, Judd's got to go. What do you mean you got to go? You stiff.
I got to go.
It's terrible.
Lots more to do. Busy day.
We're working on those billboards for you, sir. Just prick. We'll work on that one.
Thank you very much. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Sounds good, pal. Thanks a lot.
Be good. Bye.
Judd, Zulgad, ladies and gentlemen, SKOR North, couple of great guys. Phil, Judd, what more could you ask for, right?
Breakfast.
Want to have breakfast brought in? We got it. Yeah, all the 21 more minutes left, so it might not get here in time,
All right,
but
fine.
It all works out. It's probably safe to assume that Bob Barker had a lot of money. Yes, it's very safe to assume that. And according to TMZ, most of it is being left to charity. Not surprisingly, that includes a lot of animal welfare organizations. We talked about this about an hour and a half ago on the show. Bob's rep also says he spent a lot of time in his last days watching TV. What did he watch on television? You guys know this? What he watched on television
Did he watch
over
Price
and
is
over
Right?
and
I'm
over?
going to assume he didn't watch The Price is Right.
He did not watch The Price is Right.
Let's
Wheel of
make a
Fortune.
deal.
Oh, no, that's not true. He checked it out every now and then, it says.
Oh, okay.
So he did watch it.
Yeah.
The Price is Right. You thinking Wheel of Fortune?
Let's make a deal.
Let's
Wait,
make
I don't
a
even think
deal.
that's even on anymore.
I bet he watched a lot of like fishing shows or golf or something. Something that is just
He
so.
loved
yeah.
golf.
Okay, I'll go from the bottom up because I'll do his favorite show last. CBS will air an hour-long special tomorrow night called The Price is Right, a tribute to Bob Barker. Drew Carey will host, by the way. He also checked out The Price is Right with Drew Carey every now and then and thought Drew was doing a great job as the host. But his favorite show he watched every day was 2.5 Men.
Interesting.
Okay.
Very interesting.
I didn't see that coming.
No, not at all.
What a twist.
Well, I mean, the show is about a guy who's a womanizer who bed
That's
every
true.
woman in Los Angeles. So it is kind of hitting close to home.
That's
and
very
it's
true.
probably on 5 times a day,
Right.
like sporadic. Like, oh,
Men.
don't even. That is so triggering for me.
Oh, yeah.
Jerry
You and
put
everybody
that
else.
on the way home from Vegas on the bus. He had a box set of that show, and I was so hungover, trying not to
God.
throw up, listening to "men" on the screen. Oh, miserable.
Have you guys seen the Perfect Bid documentary about The Price is Right?
Yeah.
And the guy, it's phenomenal. This
No.
guy, so apparently they recycled all of the prizes and stuff, but didn't change any of the prices. So this guy figured out what all the prices were and would go to the show. He was at the show, I think, 37 times and would just yell out the correct price. And he got known for it. And so people would just like,
Really?
oh, yeah, this vacation set is $1539.34, Bob, and be getting perfect bids and all
And
this stuff.
did he ever get to go up front?
Yeah, he got on the show once, I believe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
one time, but then he had a spreadsheet that he was keeping track of everything that was, and then went on, and then I believe ended up winning the Showcase Showdown on it as well. That same show that he was
I would
on.
hope so. At that point, you have a full-time job. You need to be winning.
Yeah. My buddy Dave got up. Dave, at the time, was a touring band. Was in a band. They were out touring Los Angeles, and he got on The Price is Right and bid $4.20 5 times at Contestants Row and never got up once, unfortunately.
It is.
That's so funny that they say, oh, he liked Drew Carey, because there is actual audio of Bob Barker ripping Drew Carey about how boring it is. I got a little bit of it here if you guys want to give it a listen. Here you go. Check it out.
Sal, in the flesh, my friend, I absolutely love you, man.
Well, I'm flattered. You probably watched Price ever since you were a kid.
Yes, I did, man. Hey, I always wanted to play the Plinko chip game.
Everybody did. That was the most popular game on the show.
Oh, man, how do you think Drew's doing?
Well, he does the show differently than I did.
Right, you can't copy the original.
Well, I tried to make the show really exciting, and he doesn't do that. He just plays the games.
Right. I gotta say, man, you can't beat it. You know, like it's never gonna be the same, man. Could I just shake your hand?
There you
This
go.
is like the magic touch. Before you go, one thing I always wanted to ask you: what did it feel like punching Adam Sandler in the face?
Young men love that movie, and they're always asking me, could I really beat up Adam Sandler? In real life, could I beat up Adam Sandler? And my answer is Adam Sandler couldn't even whip Regis Philbin.
You know, he wasn't that.
line.
He wasn't that brutal to Drew. Like I think he was just saying he was trying to be high energy, and Drew is very flat, like very matter of fact. It's very like YouTube, the way that like not blah, blah, blah. It's like this is what we're doing. We're playing this game now. Like that's Drew for sure.
No, I think Drew does a good job.
Yeah.
I don't have any problem with Drew's job.
No, but you're right. Like it was definitely like he was very factual about his assessment of how he thought of what he thought of Drew.
Didn't Drew lose about $1.50 or something?
Oh, he looks different.
Lost a lot of weight. Got some
ton of
different glasses. He grew his hair out.
You live in
I
LA.
didn't know that. Really?
I feel like you live in LA. It just happens. People just form into the same
Just
person.
beat the piss out of you till you lose the weight. Is that
Pretty
what you're
much.
saying?
Like you can't go anywhere with them being like, oh, so this is how you're gonna look. Huh.
That's the body you
That's,
decide to
that's
go out
what
in
you're gonna
public with?
keep.
Yeah.
Okay. Like I just feel like it's so LA to like.
Right.
You have to do all those things and look eventually like everyone else.
I got to read this headline, ladies and gentlemen. It's one of my favorite headlines of all time. It's in today's MSN, which is a news delivery service. Armed robbers rob Chicago TV crew, reporting on armed robbery.
Yeah.
That is the most
Isn't that insane?
insane thing I've ever
I
heard.
just love that. You ass. Oh, God, pain in the ass.
They're like, this is the perfect mark. And they're telling them what we're about to do to them. They're
I
going
know,
in
I
detail.
know. It's amazing.
Oh.
A TV news crew in Chicago was robbed Monday morning while covering a string of armed robberies and carjacking. I'm sorry to be laughing at this, but Jesus.
It's rough.
Carjackings that occurred over the weekend, according to WLS, a reporter and photojournalist with Univision, were about to do a live shot in the 1200 block of North Milwaukee before 5 a.m. when a black SUV and a gray sedan pulled up. 3 armed suspects in ski masks got out. I'm sorry to be laughing at that.
It's
but
funny, though.
It's
No, it's
5 in the morning.
They deserve to get laughed at.
I agree.
If there's a
That's
string
true.
of robberies, maybe we don't go out into that area at 5 a.m.
I know, they think they're so neutral. The only guy who can do that is Chris Egert. He can run and yell at looters.
Yeah, there you go.
But that's it.
3 armed suspects in ski masks got out and took the belongings of 28-year-old and 42-year-old victims. Chicago police said, also stealing the pair's video camera. The news crew was reporting from the same block in which a woman was carjacked just the night before. It is just, when are we going to realize that if these news assholes keep chirping about how, we've got to watch everybody and there's too much, these cops are really rough on people. Have you noticed since you've been saying cops are rough on people, they're beating the piss out of everyone now in the street because the cops can't do their job anymore? When are they going to realize that? All of this crime is happening because of your political stance.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, I just think it's so funny. I wonder if they were carrying cash on them. If they were smarter. Like,
They were if they did. I'll tell you
Right?
that.
I do have a live report. Remember how Chris Egert is doing Zumba today? One of our listeners wrote in about how it's going.
He's doing Zumba?
On his Minnesota Live, he has a show from
I
9
got
to
you.
10.
I just thought you were just giving us an update on his fitness life.
Yeah.
And I did some stretches this morning.
Okay.
So yeah,
Just having you here is a stretch. Thank you very much. Great to be here.
Hey-oh. Pat wrote in, Chris Egert is killing it on the Zumba line on TV. He gave a really good college try. He stepped away from the semi part, however, and then he wrote, I think he wore shorts as a sympathy ploy.
Oh, so you can see his fake leg? I like it. That works for me.
So yeah, I guess I'm actually happy to hear it's going well for him.
Chris is a great guy. And I'm sure people tell him that I do say that all the time, but Chris Egert is one of the nicest people I've ever met.
It's annoying.
He's just a great, he's so nice it's annoying.
Yeah, it's annoying how likable he is. He's just so funny where he'll absolutely be a Debbie Downer, and then you're like, I don't know why, I just think you're so fun.
No, he is. He's just a great guy to work with, and I was just, oh, God. Brittany, you nailed it today.
Thank you.
Another great headline, lady has gun hidden in her folds of fat.
Oh, well, we have to save this one for after the break.
Because I've got questions.
Okay, we'll save it for after the break. Let me just say this. We had a woman on the KQ Morning Show one time that had to have surgery. She's a very big woman.
Yeah.
And they had to rush her to the hospital because her skin had been poisoned. Apparently, what happened, we had her live on the show. She was amazing. She was eating a pork chop.
Yeah.
And dropped it somehow.
Yeah.
And then couldn't find it. it ended up tucked in the folds of her gut.
Oh,
and it
no.
rotted away and started rotting the flesh off her body.
I can't. I'm gonna get sick.
But how do you not shower that off? Is what you were about to say. She said the folds of fat were so heavy that she would have to literally lift them up like 2 feet to get under there.
I'm gonna be sick.
But how do you not feel a whole pork chop?
I know.
Like your skin still has feeling.
She was such a sweetheart about that. It was amazing.
Okay, so like I'm infamous for leaving. Like I'll take a bite of something or a half of a drink,
That's
and
notorious.
I'll thank you. I'll leave it around the house somewhere, and my brain goes, Brittany, you left like a half of a cookie somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
Like my brain has that always going. Like Brittany, you somewhere in this house somewhere you left like a half a cookie eaten somewhere. So you like have that pinged in your brain to be like, keep an eye out for your LaCroix or your half a cookie. How do you not keep your eye out for a pork chop?
You were just eating a pork chop and now you're not. Like it went somewhere.
Well, she told me she thought that it had fallen through the floor grate into the heater. Or the,
which is not great either.
No, it would not be great if it went in there either. You're right. All right, we do have to take a break. We're going to come back and do that story that you want to do.
Perfect.
I really have to say I'm feeling great, and I have to give the credit to mnfatloss.com. After going on the program this spring, I'm nearly at my ultimate weight loss goal. You know, there's no shame in gaining weight as we get a little older, but I think you'd feel better, more energetic, and feel better in your clothing. A reset like mnfatloss.com could be the answer for you, just like it has been for me. I'm not even worried about temptations like the state fair. I'm not hungry. I don't crave carbs. Don't crave sugar. If you want to find out the secret to losing 20 to 30 pounds in just 8 weeks, that's about a pound of fat every day. No exercise required. To schedule your free consultation, go to mnfatloss.com. That's mnfatloss.com. Results may vary. Be sure to tell the team at mnfatloss.com that Tom Barnard sent you.
When you need someone to listen, a lawyer you know and trust.
The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says riding a bus to school is 13 times safer than riding in a passenger vehicle and 10 times safer than walking to school. The reality of school bus safety is that more children are hurt outside the bus than inside as passengers. Most of the children who lose their lives in bus-related crashes are pedestrians, 4 to 7 years old, who are hit by the bus or by motorists illegally passing a stopped school bus. Please be patient and use extra caution when driving near children and school buses. And never pass a bus when the arm is down and red lights are flashing. The children inside and their parents are counting on us. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. I hope you're never injured in an accident, but if you are, don't sign anything until you've talked to a lawyer.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
Hi, this is Tom Barnard here for Power Lodge and Miller Marine. Attention all power sports enthusiasts. This August, we invite you to celebrate with Power Lodge as we hit a major milestone, 25 years of bringing action and excitement to Minnesota as your go-to destination for all things marine and power sports. Each of our locations will host a local community appreciation day. Join us in Brainerd, Ramsey, Onamia, or Sauk Rapids as we roll out the red carpet with delicious food, amazing prizes, fantastic giveaways, and unbeatable special pricing. We'll be raffling off a variety of Polaris ATVs and snowmobiles. Check out powerlodge.com for event dates nearest you. Throughout August, we've got something special planned. Follow us on social media as we unveil 25 days of deals on the latest off-road and on-road vehicles, boats, and supplies from the top brands in power sports. That's right, 25 days of back-to-back incredible offers. You won't want to miss this. So mark your calendars and get in on the action during our 25th anniversary. Power Lodge, where your adventure begins.
Yeah, baby. Tom Barnard Morning Show. We're getting a little glimpse of what the next week's going to be like, gentlemen, because Tom Barnard is leaving on vacation, and it's going to be us three.
And it'll be the best.
Take it easy.
Okay, I was
already left the coffee
don't hurt
machine on.
yourself.
Don't even. Okay, side note, did you end up going to the fair again after Saturday, Tevin?
Yeah, I went whatever the next day was.
Sunday?
No, we weren't there at the fair on a Saturday. For you talking about for the show?
Yeah, we were 1,000% there on a Saturday.
We were there on Saturday, and I was there on Sunday as well. So it was a long week last week. Sorry, there we go. It was definitely there on Sunday.
No, it's all right. Go ahead, lead us Friday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
Captain.
I'll be more prepared on Friday. But no, I had
Tell me what you ate.
Average I feel like the food wasn't as great. I had these like hot chicken cheese fries from the Blue Barn. They were just okay.
Really?
I had a milkshake that like some alcoholic cookie milkshake. That was pretty good.
Kristyn made me promise I was going to get dill lemonade, and I feel really obligated to do that.
Dill lemonade? That sounds terrible.
Don't start with dill again.
Don't start. Well, I don't know if I have dill money.
Yeah, dill money.
Dough?
Oh my! That was
bring your dildo or whatever it is.
I was like, he definitely
Leave me alone.
Did not say what he thought he was saying.
Exactly.
That's true. You're right about that.
But she handled it well.
Yes, I would agree absolutely. So what were you guys talking about?
I
ran into a listener out in the hallway. That's why it took me a little while. Nice young guy. Looked to be about maybe 25.
It was great training wheels because it'll be this way on Friday. And so it was great training wheels for us to get a handle on hosting. We failed miserably.
Oh, both of you did?
We all did.
Speak for yourself.
That's great.
Oh, you think you really couldn't even figure out what day of the week?
I was confused as to what day of the week it was.
Okay, Tom, finish the fat folds thing, though, because we can't leave people
All right,
hanging.
yeah. No, that's true. We only got 5 minutes left, so
Yeah.
you're absolutely right about that. White Sox shooting. I don't know if I can get through this story, actually, to tell you the truth. But I'll try my best. Oh, Jesus. I hate it when stuff pops up and covers up the story. Why do they do that?
Because that's how they advertise. It's the
Well, I
whole
know,
thing.
but how do you hell do you get rid of it?
You just pray.
I tried to click out of it. Oh, there, I think I finally found the right spot for it. White Sox shooting. Woman snuck gun into an Major League Baseball game in Chicago through folds in her belly fat before it went off by accident Friday night.
Who would have thought?
So what pulled the trigger?
What part of whose body? I don't know. What was she doing? Was there I don't know. And then did she end up shooting herself then?
Well, it says the shooting, which marred last weekend's Chicago White Sox game, was the result of accidental discharge by one of the victims, according to the report. 2 females were shot during the 4th inning of the White Sox game against Oakland A's on Friday night, with one grazed in the stomach and the other taking a bullet to the leg.
Oh, my God.
Yet, according to ESPN Chicago host Peggy Kuzinski, the gunshots came from the woman left with her with grazing after she accidentally fired the weapon inside Guaranteed Rate Field. Well, if it's in her fat fold, how do you? Well, there's more to the story, I guess. What pulled the trigger?
There's so many questions I have. And why was it not on safety in your fat folds?
Yeah, there you go.
The little person who was also stuck in the fat fold. That's who pulled the trigger.
Her husband, am I right?
She is understood to have snuck it past security through metal detectors by hiding into the fold. How thick is her belly fat that even the metal detector couldn't pick it up?
Also, and I'm sure, let's say if she did set it off and then they wander and feel it's going off in your stomach. I'm assuming not a lot of security is hey, we got to lift that up and dig in around in your fat fold.
Got a middle kidney now. Right. That's what it is.
Just make something up.
Also, yeah, I don't want them to start. If all of a sudden, a guy's let me just feel in there, I'd be I did not know my body had got to this point. I'll constantly say, I have a newborn. They're she is 5, ma'am.
Yep.
Not great. You know how long security would take if they have to start checking in folds of people? And
that'd smell good.
Oh, that's a job you don't want.
After reports circulated on social media of an alleged shooting, police confirmed that late on Friday night that 2 women, aged 42 and 26, were indeed shot during the White Sox game. It's just unbelievable. And then Peggy Kaczynski's, Ted Kaczynski. I wonder if that's his sister.
Yeah.
He died, didn't he? Didn't he just die, Ted Kaczynski?
That's a great question.
I think he did.
Yeah, he did.
As I reported on ESPN 1000 just now, the shooting at Guaranteed Rate Field during a White Sox game was indeed an accidental discharge by one of the women, grazed by the bullet. She reportedly snuck the gun in past metal detectors, hiding it in the folds of her belly fat.
I bet you even with, ignore it. Let's say somehow that goes off without grazing you. Let's say somehow it shoots out the side. That barrel would be so hot right there. Burner anyways.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That would be hotter than a sumbitch. Correct?
Correct.
What the hell? So it just says lady has gun hidden in folds of fat. How did the gun go off? And why wouldn't she have the safety on?
Right. And why are you sneaking a gun into the game anyway? Well, there was the high school football game where they had the shooting where I believe 3 people got shot.
Oh,
a couple weeks ago.
Well, it's every day now.
Oh, yeah, there's always something going on.
It's disgusting. There's no question about it.
Have you guys ever shot a gun at a range or anything like that?
Mm-hmm. Oh, many times.
I was helping my husband zero in. I can't remember what weapon he had, but I was helping him zero it in. And I'm so used to a rifle, like an M4,
sure.
so you put your nose right up to the charging handle.
Oh,
I
God.
almost pushed it, and this one had like a big old scope on it and kicks. Almost gave myself a black eye. Like,
Sure.
was this close, because I'm just so used to, I've only shot M4s and M16s where you can put your nose right there. And that would have been so painful. I can't imagine having a gun intertwined in your skin go off. Like even the small amount of kick would just feel like a punch to the stomach.
You would think, and be hotter than hell, as you pointed out.
Right? Ugh.
I don't really understand it either. There's no question about it. All right, any closing comments?
Kevin, anything?
Everybody
Captain?
tune in Friday. It's about to go down. The greatest show in the history of radio that Tom Bernard's not going to be on. Me, Brittany, and Rudy. We're getting loose in the booth.
Get loose in the booth.
Tell all your friends.
Get weird.
Send your messages, phone calls. We're talking about it all.
We'll say it all, baby.
The Tevin takeover. Bigger and blacker as long as Chris Rock doesn't sue us.
Hey, our
for stealing
initials
the name.
are TB. We just need to figure out Rudy's with his R to make Tom Bernard your full name. TB still in town.
What?
Tevin Brittany?
I think on that note, we're just going to talk to you guys on
that's the
Friday.
weird thing, not loose in the booth? You're not going to attack him for saying loose in the booth?
Boy, look at the time. We'd love to stay and schmooze. Talk to you tomorrow.
Love you. Bye.